Welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are in for a good one tonight. That's why we're just going to hop right on into it. We've got a pair of Overwatch games and then the continuation of the Gridiron Rivalry Series in Valorant coming up later tonight. But we'll get to all of that. We're going to kick things off with Overwatch, Boise State versus St. Ambrose. And to help me call all of the action, it is going to be Colby D'Angelo Alloway joining us for all of that. D'Angelo, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty well. Hoping for another Boise State sweep, just like our last Overwatch match. That would be delightful. But other than that, just looking to be really excited to see what happens and what comes out of both teams.
Yeah, it is a show match between the two teams, but there's still a lot on the line. Everything counts. It still goes down in the win and loss column. And, hey, you mentioned it. You were the good luck charm. You know, after a little bit of a beatdown, you came in. You're like, Boise State's going to smash Florida State in Overwatch, and you called it. It was a 3-0 sweep. So we brought you back because Boise State needs their good luck charm every time they're on the Overwatch fields.
Absolutely, and I'm perfectly content to be that if it means Boise State gets more victories. Yeah,
you know what? If you got to stand out in the break room, if you got to stand outside, go wherever you need to go to help Boise State get a victory. We're just glad, D'Angelo, that it involves you up on the stage and not, tucked away in a corner. But before we get into all of the action, we are going to have a special guest joining us here before we get into Boise State taking on St. Ambrose. It is going to be Chase Newcomb joining us. He is the head coach for St. Ambrose's esports program, as it is the Broncos versus the Fighting Bees, which is just an excellent mascot, really, that I was really excited to see. So as we get Chase here to join us momentarily before we get into all of the action, there he is. Chase, how are you doing?
Interesting day, to say the least.
Well, Chase, why don't you talk to us? I have a two-part question for you. One, just talk to us about recruiting during all of this that's been going on. And then to follow up, what's it been like getting students back onto campus during all of this and getting them to play?
Yeah, so recruitment has not been as difficult, I would say, this year. We've laid a solid foundation last year in terms of getting recruits, and now we're just more or less looking for high-quality recruits moving forward. In terms of getting students back on campus, we've implemented a lot of COVID changes, as I'm sure most other esports programs have. We have dividers in between all of our stations, hand sanitizer readily available, and offset practice time, so students aren't in the same environment as each other.
And here at Boise State, where you like to go with our motto is outwork, outlearn, outprep, outperform. What is the sort of, focus for St. Ambrose when it comes to esports? Do you guys have like a mentality or something like that?
Yeah, so really the main focus of our program is mentality and how we really go about professionalism and personal development. We don't have, a specific tagline, but really our focus is preparing our students for career opportunities and student branding to empower our athletes to upstand themselves as young esports professionals to ensure the best avenues for success post-graduation.
And then two quick ones here before we get out. One, besides Overwatch, what other teams does St. Ambrose have?
Oh, great question. So we have two genre-based teams, a first-person shooter battle royale team and a fighting games team. And then in addition to our Overwatch team, we have a League of Legends team, a Rocket League team, and then a Fortnite team.
And then finally, we're going to see the Overwatch team tonight. So tell us a little bit about the strength of the St. Ambrose Overwatch team and what we should watch for tonight as Bronco fans to maybe watch out for if St. Ambrose is going to pull the victory off.
Man, you guys got to watch out for Cloud. He's a top 500 tank player. He knows what he's doing. And Captain Erica, the captain of the Overwatch team, she is a strong leader in her own right. So they are going to give their best tonight.
Well, Chase, thank you so much for joining us. That was Chase Newcomb, head coach of the St. Ambrose esports team. Thank you once again for joining us, and we'll see if we have to watch out for that top 500 tank player. Definitely something Bronco fans are going to want to focus on. It is Boise State versus St. Ambrose in Overwatch here tonight, the first of our Overwatch doubleheader, and then we wrap everything up with Valorant. And as we do take a look at the lineups there, you see Cloud, the player he focused on as the top 500 tank player, and then Erica there, the captain of St. Ambrose's team. So that's going to be the shot caller that Boise State might want to try and focus on, get them a little bit flustered and disrupt the communication. So we'll be curious to see as we do hop in to Doc's keys of the game. Unfortunately, Ethug does not play Overwatch, so I'm not sure putting him on Engaged Champion would be a good idea. In GoldenEye, you can definitely make sure you play Walls. Not a bad idea in Overwatch either. I know Wall and Maul used to be all over Boise State's keys to the game last year. I don't think you can screen peek, unfortunately, because, you know, we do have the players all separated. They can't even see each other's screens, let alone the opponent's screens. But, you know, why don't we have, while we figure that out, D'Angelo, why don't you tell us your keys to the game really quickly here before we get into the map?
Well, if their top 500 is a tank main, it's going to be a pretty big deal to outwit their tank, assuming that they're a main tank. Or even if they're an off tank, they're a pretty big deal in terms of shot calling. And I believe that Guac has the capability to go head-to-head with this person in terms of strategy and that sort of thing. So I believe we should be in for some really interesting plays and outplays, or at least I hope.
As we load in here onto the first map, looks like the teams are going to meet in the middle here right now. Azuro's taking a ton of damage. Boise State not really losing much health at all now. Quibble's going to drop a little bit low. Sinfac's going to be the first one to fall, though, so Boise State will see if they can press their advantage. They're going to get a couple more eliminations as well. And as you've talked about it time and time again, D'Angelo, 2 kills and Boise State just foot on the throat there. They're going to push their advantage.
Oh, yeah, and we were up 3 at that point because 2 were killed at the same time. We were just spamming that Junkrat damage, and they were just standing in the way of the Junkrat damage. And that was able to net us half their team getting sent back to spawn. So we should be able to clean that up and then have a comfortable little bit of percent on the point as we prepare into next fight.
State is going to capture the point, going to spam those grenades down towards the spawn of St. Ambrose. Garrett J dropping very low. Actually, looks like a reversal here, but it is not going to matter. Sinfac once again, second fight, same result. He's going to be the first one to go down. We're going to see the Coalescence come out from Pleb, allow Boise State to maintain. Quibble going to lose the mech there, but staying alive as Allista's going to go down.
Oh, no.
Finally, the first elimination of the game for St. Ambrose. They'll pick up one immediately into the Blossom. Both tanks for Boise State going to fall as St. Ambrose here back on the push. Respawns have come through. Everyone should be back as Rizzo's going to go down. They will trade that for Arc, so a DPS down on both teams. Boise State still doing a good job holding on to the point, nearing 40%. As we're seeing to see St. Ambrose jump right on top of it. Yeah, everyone's back here for Boise State. Couple of eliminations immediately make that a triple amount of eliminations for Boise State, as it does look like the Shatter did come down there from Cloud. That helped turn that fight around just a little bit, but Boise State gonna get that elimination. The 2 last remaining members of the Bees trying to hold on to the point, but they are going to go down, and Boise State gonna win a very, very long engage.
Fantastic, and because that was a very, very long engage, that actually gave us quite a bit of percent on the point. That was fantastic. So, like, we should have won that fight when we had first pick, and then we absolutely should have lost when we had our Diva at a mech and our Monkey die. But then we were able to fall back to point and stall long enough for the Monkey and the Diva to get back on point. They're mobile heroes, they respawn quickly. That was actually a fantastic fight that earned us a lot of percent.
Riptire going to come out. Sand Barrier going to be used as well. Going to pick up a kill on the Zero Rose as it faded. Good job there by Rezo to hold on to that tire, and immediately St. Ambrose down 2 members. Going to lose the mech on Alyssa there. There's the Junk Tire coming out from Sinfax. We'll see if he's able to pick up a kill on anyone for Boise State. Doesn't look like he's found it, as his Shatter is going to come down. That'll result in 3 kills for St. Ambrose for right now. Boise State does have the ult advantage, but the point has been flipped, as it looks like the Bees actually might come out here with a slight advantage as the respawn start coming in. As Zero is going to go down once again. We do see Quibble was knocked out of the mech and eliminated. He has respawned, and Boise State once again a very long engage on the point. This time though favoring St. Ambrose as the Death Blossom and the Coalescence both going to come out. Death Blossom from both sides, a kill for Arc, and unfortunately for Boise State, Narbles immediately goes down. Pleb's going to use the Coalescence to follow that up and try and keep the remaining members of Boise State alive, as the Primal Rage came out as well. Self-destruct from Alyssa, not going to land onto anyone. It's going to come out from Quibble as well. He's going to actually fall off the map. So for Boise State, does not look like they are faring very well in this fight. 3 members down. Icy probably going to follow. That is 4, and Boise State probably going to have to turn tail.
We shouldn't have taken that fight. We should have just clean reset after we were down 2, and then because we just gave them a bunch of percent just like they did us. We gave them about 50% of the point just with that fight there. So that was not good.
Shatter is online for Cloud. He's going to land it on the 2 members of Boise State, one of those being Beanie Bum, who immediately goes down. Quibble, the other member hit, is dropping extremely low. Sinfax will fall, but not before Arc picks another one up onto Icy. And Boise State's got to be careful here. They are approaching last fight territory.
We're getting a lot of really good, reliable picks on that Junkrat. You need to start dinking the Reapers, because the Reaper's been a major problem for our Monkey and our Diva, I mean, as he's expected to be.
Last fight going to break out here. Boise State's got to get on the point as well. It's at 97%. Both Coalescence going to come out. Sound Barrier drop from Azure Rose, but Boise State body block off the point, and St. Ambrose with a great come from behind going to secure the objective.
Yeah, we only really lost. We lost a total of 2 team fights there, if you count that last one, and we lost a team fight that we straight up shouldn't have taken and gave them 50% of the point just there fighting that fight that we should have just reset instead of sitting on there for a really, really long time. But I do happen to know that Icy Skills of the main tank, he does learn when he does things. That's part of our motto. That's why we have him as the main tank that we do. This is actually a very close game because what we had was 2 very long, drawn-out fights that got a lot of percent for both teams. Neither team is really getting rolled at all here. It's really even.
Yeah, it really felt like on that map, both teams had a point where they kept extending a fight and gave the other team about 50%, and it ended up unfortunately being Boise State, the one that paid for it just a little bit more. So we'll hop into the second map here. Boise State got to find a way to win this one to force us into map 3 of game 1. As once again, they're immediately going to jump in on the backline. Unfortunately, Rezo's going to go down. So is Narbles. The health bars have stabilized for St. Ambrose. You can see Quibble dropping very low, as well as Boise State tries to retreat and maybe get a sneaky cap onto the point. Icy going to fall down as well, and for Boise State, that feels like they've got to reset here.
Yep, we can see Beanie there waiting for the reset. Yeah, they got both of our DPS trying to flank to get some tricky kills, but instead it was them who got tricky killed. But we did clean reset there instead of trying to fight, so clearly we're getting better, we're learning. So I do expect that we should be able to flip this around, maybe.
See, Alyssa's going to be knocked out of the mech to start things off there. Primal Rage going to come out from Cloud, and he's going to jump right in onto Boise State and knock them all off of the high ground. Coalescence going to come out from both members. Jarek dropping very low before just finally stabilizing. Icy's going to get the first pick on the arc, and now we'll see if Boise State can push the advantage. You can see them trying to get onto the point as it nears 30%. Cloud going to fall down. Sound Barrier comes out from Azure Rose, but not in time to stop one elimination from the Death Blossom. Primal Rage is coming out from Icy as well, and you can feel like Boise State starting to gain control of this fight. They are on the point. A couple of members left. Alyssa going to go off, and Boise State's going to win that one.
That was great. They also clean reset too, so they're also learning. That was really, really good. However, the Death Blossom was completely unnecessary, but then Lucio responded to it with Sound Barrier, so it's kind of like they were both completely unnecessary, but it's really good that we had that Sound Barrier out. The Monkey ult was just completely out of place, and that was...
Speaking of Monkey being out of place, that Cloud immediately falls down. Alyssa going to come out of the mechs. In fact, tried to pop the Riptire and got taken down. No eliminations to show for it. Now the Baby Diva goes down, and Boise State kind of just surprised St. Ambrose. I don't think Cloud expected all that damage.
Yeah, that was fantastic. He did as monkeys sometimes do and jumped into an area where he didn't have all the information and proceeded to get melted because, you know, he doesn't have enough health to be 1v6. And because of that lost fight there where the main tank walked in, we are at a significant ultimate.
See, Rizzo's going to start it. Speaking of ult with a Riptire, it's going to knock out one and basically eliminates two other members.
Nice.
Cloud, Arc, and Azure Rose all going to fall. That was all on the back of Rizzo. The Riptire got one and put everyone else at 1 HP. What a fight for Boise State.
Absolutely fantastic. And even after winning that fight and losing and using ultimates, we still have the ultimate advantage here. However, they do still have the big old Death Blossom, so we do need to keep getting early picks here or just kill the Reaper outright when he teleports.
Soundberry is available for BD Bum. We'll see if he is able to predict it in time. It is going to come out immediately as they're able to take Arc. As you mentioned, D'Angelo, just stop him from ulting. Self-destruct from Melissa is going to pick up one. Coalescence going to be used by Pleb to try and make up for some of that healing. Sinfax going to fall down once again. Looks like Pleb's going to pick up Cloud with the very last tick of that Coalescence. Boise State here in complete command of the point. 99% just has to eliminate St. Ambrose off the point. As you can see the swaps coming out. There's the Death Blossom from Arc. He didn't even get an elimination. Instead, Narvel picks up two with his own, and Boise State answers right back.
Absolutely fantastic. Boise State did both Boise State and St. Andrews did an amazing job learning, and they need to continue to learn. Boise State happened to have the advantage here because, like I said, Icy is a shot caller who learns. He's able to call those fights, tell us when we need to wipe, tell us when that was a bad idea. And so he's done a really, really good job of turning this around. And Cloud's also done a really good job of making sure that they don't have those same long drawn-out fights. So going into this next one, it's probably going to be a matter of who gets the first pick and or who can get high ground control here. I do expect some hit scan heroes to come out, so it's probably going to be that pick thing. That's going to be the win condition for either team picks.
It didn't look like there was many swaps on either side. This is map 3 of game 1, so winner going to go up to a 1-0 lead here as the teams are going to meet. Narvel's going to drop extremely low. Oof. Rizzo as well. Boise State's got to retreat and at least stabilize those health bars. Now they feel comfortable going back in. Cloud's going to be the first one taken down. Alyssa dropping very low, but Boise State has a couple of health bars that are near critical condition. Arc's going to fall down. Mech killed away as well from Alyssa. Sinfax falls at Boise State. 3 eliminations, and they're going to take the point.
Fantastic job by Boise State. We played door win condition of killing somebody first. While it didn't come from the sniper because we swapped off. It did come on the main tank, which increases your chances of winning a fight significantly.
Rizzo's very close to that Riptire. We've seen him make a couple of excellent plays with it earlier in the fight, so we'll see if he can make another one here. The Riptire is going to be available, immediately going to be used and immediately picks off Arc. Sinfax not going to be able to use his own as well. Pleb's going to use the Coalescence as Boise State tries to push the advantage. 4 members down. Azure Rose probably not going to be able to get away. Boise State with a clean 5-man kill.
Fantastic. Beanie Bum is just bullying that poor monkey with his boops, putting him in and out of positions and in and out of fights that he doesn't necessarily want to be into. And it's just fantastic to watch, to be honest.
Full respawn coming out for both sides here. 40% for Boise State. The Riptire still available for Sinfax, so we'll see if he can make a big of a play as Rizzo has, you see, the Primal Rage and the Self-Destruct available. Also, Jarek does have the Coalescence available for St. Ambrose. There it is. There's the Riptire, and Boise State's going to take that opportunity to go all in. They're going to get a couple of picks. Arc going to fall as well. Primal Rage coming out from Icy. You have to wonder if he really needed to use that. Riptire is going to pick up one. Sound Barrier from Azure Rose is going to be used, but to really no effect. At Boise State comfortably going to win that fight. Cloud going to use the Primal Rage just to heal back up to full life as he's trying to stall out for the respawns to come in. Cloud dropping very, very low. We'll see if Boise State's able to get the elimination. Unfortunately, Beanie Bump's the first one to go down. And St. Ambrose might have turned this fight around. Rizzo's going to fall. Self-destruct from Alyssa is going to pick up Icy. And just like that, St. Ambrose actually managed to turn that fight around.
Yes, I mean, they were going in there with an ultimate advantage, and that's usually what happens on these sorts of things. But I mean, it was fantastic for them to be able to flip that because it was a fight that they didn't have the advantage in, so it was really impressive that they managed to do that.
Yeah, it felt like it was a fight. Boise State basically had one Cloud Primal Raging at 10% life, getting the full heal from that ultimate. stalling out long enough for St. Ambrose to get back onto the point. You do see Boise State does have the ult advantage. Jarek dropping very, very low, should be able to heal that one back up before anything too crazy breaks out here. In Boise State sort of waiting around. They have a lot of percent to give. St. Ambrose only now hitting the 30% mark. Boise State still waiting for the call to go all in. And here we go. Coalescence going to be popped as well as Riptire and the Death Blossom. It's not going to matter that Coalescence and Sound Barrier came out. They're not going to be able to save Sinfax. Mech going to go down as well. Art's going to be forced to use his Death Blossom as Jarek's going to pick up one. Art will fall. Rizzo's going to pick up another one. Alyssa just barely gets back into the mech. Rizzo is going to fall immediately though. Hugh Jibble's going to lose his mech in a very back and forth fight. Azuro's going to fall. Alyssa goes down and Boise State sustains some of that damage. They're going to take the point and now St. Ambrose has got to hurry.
Pleb was absolutely the king of sustain in that fight as the Moira managing to stay alive on 30 HP for a good couple seconds.
96%, so you know St. Ambrose has to come in on the point. Sinfax immediately going to be eliminated. You can see the swap to Tracer to try and keep in overtime. Azure Rose is going to fall. Boise State doing a really good job. Primal Rage going to come out from Cloud. Icy's going to answer with his own as well. St. Ambrose has been able to survive long enough for some respawns to come in, but it's not before Cloud goes down. Jarek will fall, and so will Arc. Alyssa's mech barely hanging on. It's going to go bye-bye as well, and Boise State has to feel comfortable where they are. Sound Barrier going to come out just to counter out any Riptire action, and Boise State going to take map 3 and win game 1.
Absolutely fantastic on the side of Boise State there.
And Boise State really doing a great job, and as you mentioned, I think the biggest takeaway, D'Angelo, had to be that both sides, but mainly Boise State, they kind of learned. You said map 1 took a fight and really kept fighting in a time they shouldn't. That allowed St. Ambrose to get it, and then they turned that around and said, hey, we lost the fight, everybody just die, let's reset, and I think they did a great job in map 2 and 3.
Absolutely. Boise State did an amazing job in maps 2 and 3, and I believe that there were two major keys to that. I mean, obviously it's a team game, so everybody does their own thing, but I do believe that the Icy versus Cloud top shot calling, target focus, that sort of thing, I do believe that Icy rose to that challenge and is doing an amazing job as a peak masters against the top 500, which is completely exceptional, and I'm very proud of our team here. And then secondly, I don't think we had a single junk tire that didn't kill someone. I think we got value out of every single junk tire there was, which is a really amazing first pick, because that just gives you a massive advantage in fight, and it's an ultimate that charges so quickly. Our Junkrat really did an amazing job of setting those fights up for victory.
Yeah, I mean, there was even in one on the second map that it didn't quite get a triple kill, but it might as well. It killed one, and the other two were at exactly 1 HP. So
that's true.
You really have to say this, while it was a 2-1 victory in game 1 for Boise State, that map 1, it felt like was Boise State's to dominate. It just, as we talked about, they kept one fight around where they probably, if they full reset, they probably win this 2-0. And I think this is actually where this was like an insane tire. You see it kills the Zeros, and Cloud and Arc are less than 10% and immediately fall. That basically is a triple kill for the Junkrat.
Yeah, absolutely. And you called it when it happened. You saw the health bars go from like full to almost 0 there. And that was just a fantastic Junkrat tire, and he just did that all game.
And were you surprised, D'Angelo, that both teams were kind of content running identical comps? I mean, it was the Junkrat Reaper, the Moira Lucio, and then the Diva Monkey. Were you surprised that neither side ever maybe said, hey, this isn't working, we should swap, or was that kind of what you expected the whole time?
Not necessarily, because it's not like the comp that wasn't working on anything. It's like shot calling and target focus micro things that are losing either team fights, or getting picks, or the other team getting picks that you really didn't want them to get.
We do load into the second map. It somehow, by a miracle, maybe they just deleted it from the archives. It's actually not King's Row. It's a Blizzard World. So this is a map that I don't think we've seen all semester, so why don't you run us through the do's and don'ts of Blizzard World, D'Angelo?
Well, so it looks like we're running more or less mirrors. We both have the Monkey, which is really important. We both have the Reaper, which is really important. But we're running more of a 6-man dive comp sort of thing on defense, which is going to be pretty significant, and we're going to want, and it's going to be relatively difficult with our current comp to get people off of the low ground and take high ground from us. So they might have to put some switches in here on the side of St. Ambrose.
We'll see how the first fight turns out as Cloud's going to hop right in, and he is going to fall right over. Arc's going to join him. Boise State with a pair of quick eliminations, and now the Broncos going to say, But let's go back to the Hive fighting bees, because right now St. Ambrose has no front line and no DPS.
Oh yeah, and I mean, that is a legitimate strategy on Blizzard World. Sit on that balcony and wait for somebody to dive you and then just collapse and melt them. And I mean, kudos to the Reaper for diving with the monkey, but considering it was 2v6, the odds were not in their favor.
And it kind of felt like the expected result. Pleb and Beanie Bum going to drop extremely low, and both of them are going to get eliminated. St. Ambrose with 2 quick picks onto the supports for Boise State, and now they're really going to shove the advantage. Icy's going to be the next one to fall. Rayla is going to pick up a kill onto Arc, but it hasn't done much to slow down St. Ambrose as Rayla will fall. And it looks like off those 2 quick picks, this should be a full cap for the side of St. Ambrose, as Boise State trying to hold on here, but it looks like the Broncos have all but decided it's time to just reset.
Oh yeah, absolutely. St. Ambrose learned from that first engage that did not go well, and then they proceeded to do it all together, dive together, and they managed to kill both of our supports, which is horrible for us and a basic complete fight loser, but was really good for them for learning.
You see, it looks like the Blade is online versus the Riptire, and then both Coalescences, so we'll see how these teams want to manage their ult. Rizzo's going to jump in on the back line. Blade immediately going to be used. He'll pick up 1 before falling. Icy's going to win the Duel of the Monkeys as well. So Boise State currently sitting up 1. Riptire is going to come out from Sinfax. He's going to get a double kill. Boise State probably going to slow any momentum they had in that fight, and Boise State probably going to have to retreat. Rayla and Quibble dropping very, very low as well. A huge Riptire this time from with St. Ambrose to win a fight.
Absolutely. That was a huge Riptire that won them that fight, because Boise State was going to win that fight, and then they killed our main tank and our main healer in one fell swoop, and then there it is, guys. We run away.
Looks like Boise State ready to go right back in. You do see it's going to start with Quibble using the self-destruct on the D.Va. It's going to pick up 2. Primal Rage going to be used by Cloud as well. Boise State will see if they can survive against the Angry Monkeys. They have the advantage. Azuro's going to go down. Sound Barrier not going to save him. Jarrett going to fall as well, and Boise State going to get a couple of eliminations. Unfortunately, Beanie Bum will go down. Icy now jumping in on the back line. He'll pick up Cloud as soon as the Primal Rage falls. He has his own Primal Rage, but right now Boise State just content holding him in the spawn and bleeding out some clock.
Quidgeable carry? Question mark? That was a fantastic little triple kill there. And Icy did an amazing job of staggering Cloud, their monkey, because that gave us an extra 5 seconds and took an extra 5 seconds away from them. And now that we have the high ground, it's going to be relatively difficult for them to retake this.
Coalescence going to start the fight from Jarrett. Boise State surviving, but the health bar is getting critical. Cloud dropping very, very low. Death Blossom from Arc going to pick up the first elimination. Sound Barrier from Azure is going to save everyone but the Reaper, and Boise State's going to have to answer with their own one, unfortunately only landing onto a couple of members, but the Broncos will survive. Another D.Va Bomb going to come out from Quibble. We'll see if he has as much success as the first one. He'll only pick up 1 onto Alyssa, who he used her own as well. That one's going to pick up just Quibble's mech. Rizzo going to take down the Junkrat as a mirror duel with Boise State side winning all of the 1v1 matchup. Azuro's now going to fall on Boise State. Starting to feel confident. Arc in on the back line. He's going to get a pick, but he'll fall, but Boise State should be able to have Pleb respawn in time.
Oh yeah, Pleb just extended a little too much there, and Moira is a fast hero. She should be in here before next engage because they were so stagger killed.
Riptire up for Boise State. See if Rizzo can capitalize on another huge Riptire. He's been almost averaging at least 1 ult, I should say, so far for Boise State, at least on the first map. As right now, looks like they will get pushed off of the high ground there. Cloud dropping a little bit low, but he is going to be able to hero. Here it comes. Rizzo going to use the Riptire. He has a huge advantage. He's only going to be able to pick up 1. Sinfax going to go down as well. He's going to get his own, though, with the Riptire. So Boise State, unfortunately, only going to be able to be up 1, and Rayla going down with the Death Blossom online. Boise State still going to be able to pick up Cloud, though, in the process. Tank down. Jarrett dropping very low as well. Can Boise State pick up the Moira? They are able to get it. Now the Broncos up 3 as Arc falls as well. Alyssa going to be forced out of the mech. Baby D.Va going to go down, and Boise State going to pick up 4.
There it is, a nice little stagger there. We were in a little bit of iffy territory when Rayla died with the Death Blossom, but we did an amazing job of coming back there.
Now we do have the Death Blossom online, both Coalescences online, and then the Primal Rage up for Cloud, where you can see Icy at 80%, probably going to have his in the middle of this fight unless he gets just eviscerated by the side of St. Ambrose. Here we go. Coalescence going to start the fight from Jarrett. Club going to force to be used his own. Beanie Bum will fall to start the fight for Boise State. Arc dropping very, very low. Primal Rage going to come out. Death Blossom from Raylan, not going to be able to pick up any elimination, so Boise State using all of those ultimates, probably going to have to find a way to retreat as Rizzo right on top of the point. Caught out in the middle of St. Ambrose. Diva Bomb going to come out from Melissa. That's going to pick up one as Rayla falls as well. And Boise State with just over a minute left needing a hold here. Probably going to have to surrender second point over to the side of St. Ambrose as Quibble Pleb going to go down.
They got to pick on Beanie, and then we didn't get value out of the Death Blossom. That's what won them that fight there. But, I mean, silver lining, now we go into the next fights with ultimate advantage.
Boise State going to contest with 1 meter left to go until point 2. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter. 3 members going to fall. They are able to get the sound barrier out of Azura Rose. The Diva Bomb going to be able to pick up one, but not enough to stop St. Ambrose from capping second point and adding some time back onto the clock as Pleb will fall.
Yeah, Quidgible's still managing to get a kill on a losing fight. But I mean, they did get out 2 of our tank ultimates there, but we do still have the sound barrier, which is the really, really big ult for Boise State. And we do still have Riptire, which is actually a pretty big deal in Junkrat's hands.
Yeah, Rizzo been getting a kill every time. Sinfac's going to start the fight off, though, with his own Riptire. We did see Quibble forced out of the mech as a double kill comes out from the opposing Junkrat. We'll see if Rizzo, he's trying to find a place to ult, but you can see St. Ambrose all over that one. He is going to go down. Boise State losing 4 members. There's the Primal Rage and the Coalescence came out, and Boise State's now got to find one quick fight as that payload's getting closer and closer.
Oh yeah, they placed that Riptire perfectly because they're trying to just kill us once and then proceed to stagger us to the rest of the point. They're trying to just roll third point.
Coalescence going to be used by Pleb. Riptire going to come out for Rizzo as well. He's going to answer. He's going to get his own double kill. Diva Bomb is going to come out. It'll pick up Rayla and Quibble's mech, but Boise State should be able to hold on. Currently sitting up 2 as St. Ambrose maybe got a little overconfident. They walk right into that Riptire, and Boise State should be able to set up for one more fight as Jarek's going to get a stagger kill there. Quibble just falling off. He wants his mech back, and Boise State here has a chance to hold.
Absolutely amazing on the side of Boise State. You can't roll if you're Junkrat and your Lucio are dead. So, I mean, there we go. We got another amazing Riptire from Rizzo over there.
Get into the last fight. The only ultimate currently online is Beanie Bum's sound barrier. It's going to start with a quick pick onto Jarek. So down 1 support for St. Ambrose. We'll see what the Fighting Bees want to do. 6 seconds left. They're going to hop right on top of the point. Cloud dropping very low. He's going to get eliminated. Boise State still holding on to that sound barrier for now as overtime starts off. Jarek has respawn, but it's not going to be there in time. Riptire is going to pick up 3 if you count the mech. Sinfac's going to fall as well. Alyssa just a matter of time, and Boise State 5 members down for the Fighting Bees. The Broncos will hold just barely.
Absolutely fantastic. And one pretty major thing, because this is a relatively dive-centric map, given the comp that we're running, is the monkey dives, success of the monkey dives. When Icy dives, his team is there. He's got people that he's played with before, they know what he's trying to do, they're following him. He's risen to the challenge, and the rest of his team is like, we'll back you up. Cloud is making good dives, but is not walking in with the manpower to have truly successful, amazing, team-winning dives. Because you can't just do it with one person.
Yeah, I mean, there has been probably 2 or 3 times every single map where Cloud just kind of goes in and gets eviscerated, as you talked about, the Edgos. So I think you're completely right. I mean, we talked about it. Cloud, a top 500 tank player. Icy more than handling in a monkey v monkey matchup, because I think you're right. Every time Icy goes in, he's got support. Cloud, he just kind of falls over.
Absolutely, but Cloud is learning. We shouldn't discount his skills as a player, because it's not necessarily... It's interesting, because it doesn't necessarily have to be his fault that his team isn't following him.
Wait to get into the fight.
But usually there's some sort of a disconnect there. And Boise State doesn't have that disconnect, and I believe that is, if we can continue to not have that disconnect while the Fighting Bees still have that, I do believe that that will give us this map, that coordination of the monkey dives.
Boise State definitely going to have their work cut out from them. They've got to get 2 points in very, very close to the third. 101.9 meters is going to be the Broncos' target. We're going to hop in. The only difference between the sides, a Junkrat still for Sinfac Rayla going to be on the Tracer to start things off. No high ground hold for the Fighting Bees. They're going to fight right on top of the point. Right now, Rayla going to drop very, very low, going to force the retreat over to that health pack. Boise State also sustaining some damage to Pleb, who gets very low before getting out there. Icy and Cloud both sitting very, very low respectively. Arc going to be able to Wraith Form away and avoid any damage from Rayla, who is going to be the first one eliminated. Rizzo is going to pick up elimination onto Cloud, so it is sitting at 1-1. Boise State now going to try and push their advantage with the main tank down. Beanie Bum and Pleb dropping very, very low. Riptire already online for Syntax. He's immediately going to use it. Pleb going to try and use the Coalescence. Can't Coalescence when you are dead. Huge Riptire for the side of St. Ambrose as it gets the mech as well. Quibble going to fall. Beanie Bum and Icy as well. And St. Ambrose with a great fight once they got that Riptire online.
Absolutely. That Riptire was at a really unfortunate time for Boise State because Pleb had just popped Coalescence, and you can't fade away from a Riptire if you're locked in Coalescence land.
To see what Boise State wants to do. Coalescence is on for Jarek, and then both Lucios do have the sound barrier. Boise State, everything else above 70%, of course, except Pleb, who did just ult, so we'll see how quickly Boise State can get him online. Sound barrier going to start the fight for Beanie Bum as he nearly goes down. It's going to land onto everyone. Icy, though, is the first one to fall. Syntax goes down for the side of St. Ambrose, so now Boise State without the tank. We'll see how they can hold on. Coalescence and the Diva Bomb going to come out. Arc is going to fall, and then immediately Boise State loses 3. The Broncos once again get the first elimination, trade 1 for 1, and then everything goes south.
We were absolutely not ready for that Diva Bomb. We even canceled their Reaper ult without our Reaper even using his ult, but we were absolutely blindsided by that Diva Bomb and not playing cover as we should have with a relatively low shield comp and a low shield meta.
Boise State time starting to get a little bit tricky here for the Broncos. Just under 2 minutes remaining. Do have the Death Blossom, Primal Rage, and the Pulse Bomb online. Sound Barrier and Primal Rage up on the side of St. Ambrose. Rizzo going to try and jump right in on the backline. He's dropping extremely low. Going to have to be forced to Wraith Form out of there. Now he's going to pop the Death Blossom. Going to get a ton of hit markers. Unfortunately, no eliminations to show for Zeros. Going to use the Sound Barrier to cancel out a lot of that damage. Primal Rage traded on both sides. Cloud and Icy both about 50%. Quibble going to get the first elimination onto Azuros, and now Boise State looks like they think they have the advantage. Jarek very low as well. Quibble going to use his own Diva Bomb to pick up 1. Boise State gets another one in the process, and it looks like the Broncos have found their way onto the point. They'll get a couple more, and this should be an easy capture for Boise State as they pick off the straggler.
Absolutely fantastic. Their Junkrat wasn't ready for the Diva Bomb, and that really cost the side of St. Ambrose because he was 3% ult and now has ult, and as we've seen, he's very capable of flipping a fight with his ultimate there.
Yeah, the Junkrats have really been the fight flippers for both sides. Boise State foregoing that one for a Tracer as the Riptire is going to come out by Synfax. It's going to land a huge double kill. Basically a triple kill as the mech goes down. Quibble going to fall, and Boise State, you just mentioned D'Angelo. It's a fight flipper, and Boise State unfortunately got that fight flipped right on him.
Oh yeah, Junktire will be Junktire. He'll walk in and get a 3 elimination. However, that wasn't necessarily the most impactful fight he could have used it in because he could have won them and continued holding the point last fight. So actually, that's really the lesser of 2 evils.
That is true, unfortunately, with the respawns coming out as the Diva Bomb does come out. Icy's going to fall again. Azuro's going to go down. A huge Death Blossom comes out from Rizzo to get 3 and help Boise State turn around what had been a losing fight. Quibble going to go off the edge. Art going to use his own Death Blossom. He's going to kill onto Beanie Bum. Pleb going to use the Coalescence. He'll get a kill onto Cloud. Now Boise State in a really drawn-out fight that had all sorts of ultimates thrown around. Going to eventually win that one thanks to Rizzo.
Absolutely amazing with that Death Blossom walking in there, picking up a triple kill when we were already down Icy. So we went from almost a guaranteed lost fight to almost a guaranteed won fight because then we were up 2 by the time the Death Blossom was over. So that was an absolute Reaper carry on that fight.
Both Primal Rages are up. They're both going to be used at exactly the same time. Pleb trying to get away from a very angry Gorilla. Rayla going to go down off screen to Syntax. So Boise State has to be careful. Icy dropping very low as the Primal Rage is going to dissipate from both members. Zeros immediately going to use the Sound Barrier to try and keep St. Ambrose alive as a lot of the health bars were nearing 50%. That's going to get everyone back up. Beanie Bum still holding on to the Sound Barrier. He is going to go down with it. A huge double kill though going to come out from the Diva Bomb, and Boise State once again gets a huge ult to flip the fight. Icy going to take down Cloud and Arc. Alyssa will fall, and Boise State has had some huge ultimates here to flip fights they probably didn't deserve to win.
Quidgible's doing an amazing job of recognizing when they're not ready for a Diva Bomb, when they're not playing cover, or where their monkey has already used his bubble. It's just like clockwork. The second that monkey bubble breaks, Quidgible's just there with a bomb.
Rayla's going to use a bomb of her own, not going to be able to land onto anything there. Riptire going to come out from Sinfax, so Boise State has to be careful. Wibble going to pick up a kill, and no kill from the Riptire. We'll see if the Broncos can push the advantage. Coalescence from Pleb going to come out. Here comes the Death Blossom from Arc. Probably a ton of hit markers, but nothing else to show for it as a third member will fall for St. Ambrose. Alyssa all alone outside of the mech will go down. There goes Jarek, and Boise State with a huge fight here to cap point 2 with just 40 seconds left.
Absolutely fantastic. I saw Rezo's life flash before my eyes that entire fight, to be completely honest. We were spectating him. His health bar was just all over the place. You should be sure to thank your boy Ro, which is Pleb.
Boise State now has their final destination in mind. 101 meters is the target here to take Blizzard World and go up 2 wins in this series. It is not a best of 3. They will play all 3 matches if you've seen the rules flash on the bottom of your screen. As the fight breaks out here, Cloud gonna drop very low, gonna force the Coalescence out from Jarek, and Boise State gonna do a good job disengaging here, waiting for that to go out. Alyssa and Quibble both going to drop the Diva Bomb. Quibble gets 1. Alyssa able to get just the mech, but Cloud will be able to take down Rizzo in the process. Alyssa did fall while outside of the mech. Rayla gonna pick up Jarek as well. Boise State holding a just ever slight advantage here with a minute 22 on the clock. Pulse Bomb going to come out, not going to find anyone, but the rest of Boise State will, and they should be able to get very, very close to their goal.
That fight was a little bit iffy until Rayla went up there and killed the Moira, so fantastic job on Rayla. Good job there.
Looks like Boise State is going to have 3 ultimates online for what could potentially be the last fight. Nothing on the side of St. Ambrose, so we'll see how quick Boise State wants to pull the trigger here. You see Rezos, he's got the Blossom, but Beanie Bump going to go down with the Sound Barrier online. There's the Coalescence and the Death Blossom. It's going to get a combination of 2 members on the side of St. Ambrose. Primal Rage did come out. Syntax going to use the Riptire, but it's not going to land in. Boise State, despite losing a member early, going to be able to wipe up St. Ambrose. There goes Cloud. Just have to get the payload to the final point, and Boise State, it was a rough start, but they're going to win Blizzard World and win their second map of the series.
There it is, Blizzard World, absolutely amazing. If we hadn't had 4 or 5 ultimates to blow on that fight, we would have lost that because our Lucia was down and their respawns were so much closer than ours, and we almost would have had to back up and give them an extra 30 to 50 seconds. So that was a fantastic job using ults there.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, you looked at it, you're like, okay, there's 3 ults on the side of Boise. That should be an easy win, but a huge pick, as you mentioned, on the Beanie Bump. Didn't even get the Sound Barrier off, but hey, when you got Death Blossom and Coalescence, I guess you really don't need all 6 members.
Yeah, we can just yeet the Reaper into the enemy team with a laser on him. Like, you're pretty okay. I mean, down to Lucio or not.
Yeah, Boise State doing a great job there. So they have won the first 2 maps, but unlike traditional best of 3s from what we've seen at the rules that I know we flashed on the screen a couple of times for this tournament, it is the all 3 maps. Doesn't matter how the maps go, so you play all of them. There you go. There's the NECC Collegiate Overwatch 6v6 competitive, 3 games, not a best of. So we are going to go to Escort, Control Hybrid Escort, no hero bans in an 8-week regular season. So just because Boise State won the first 2, you always want to get the 3rd one. Usually in maps like this, you get extra points for wins. So as we go on to the final map, Boise State got to feel comfortable, but St. Ambrose definitely gave them a run for their money.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm actually really excited that we're playing extra maps because the fight between these 2 teams is so incredibly close. It's dependent on ult usage and dependent on success of monkey dives. And it's just been really, really fantastic to watch because both teams are getting absolutely insane ultimates that are flipping fights either way. And I mean, really, that's the point of an ultimate. But it'll be interesting to watch how both teams continue to grow in their match against each other.
And were you shocked at all, speaking of ults that have flipped fights, that really it felt like the Junkrat, especially for Rizzo, has been a fight flipper? Were you shocked at all that on offense Boise State opted for the Tracer instead of the Junkrat?
Well, I do believe that swapping their Rizzo, I do believe that swapping him from Junkrat to Reaper, I do believe that he also got an insane amount of value on Reaper.
That's true.
So really, I believe that the value of the ultimates is coming from the player, not necessarily the character that they're on, because we witnessed all kinds of triple and double kills, even with a DM and a monkey bubble pointed at him. So actually, I just believe that's a credit to him as an amazing player.
Yeah, I mean, really the Riptires from him have been insane. As you mentioned, the Death Blossoms were also insane as Rayla opted for the Tracer, got a couple of huge picks as well. I mean, you can see one right there. That was a 3-man Death Blossom in a fight that St. Ambrose, it really felt like they were winning. Pleb, of course, finished things off with the Coalescence. But yeah, there's been some huge fight-flipping ultimates. And even though that you said, D'Angelo, that's the point of ultimates, I don't know if I've ever seen a series where it feels like every fight kind of flips based on whoever team has the ultimate.
Oh, absolutely. We're getting some exceptional ultimate usage. I do believe that part of that is because neither team is completely prepared for Diva Bombs.
Yeah.
Because we've been spoiled with shield meta for so long that you just stand with your tanks and you're fine. Except that's not really the case anymore because Diva herself can't do anything against an enemy Diva's bomb, and Monkey only has a bubble that's usually used when he dives in, and usually the enemy Diva's not bombing unless they've seen the bubble come out. So you actually have to play cover to avoid getting killed by those bombs, which is a relatively new concept for some people, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say that is the one thing that you kind of mentioned is it does feel like there's been a lot of Diva bomb kills. I mean, yes, it is one of the more telegraphed ultimates, but everyone's had that time like, I see the Diva bomb, but I can't go anywhere because I have overcommitted, so I will just explode to my death.
I would just explode. Maybe you get a hello or like a thank you off before you're just sent back to spawn. But yes, I do believe that awareness of Diva bombs is something that both teams can absolutely work on here.
Well, this is Boise State versus St. Ambrose here in the NECC Collegiate Esports regular season. It is a 3-map game, not a best of that we might be used to, so we are going to be heading in here to escort. Boise State winning the first 2 games, but not, I don't want to say easily, but it was very close. I mean, we took the map 3 on game 1, and then we saw how close Boise State basically had to get to getting the last point. So these are 2 very evenly matched squads that Boise State has got to be careful for if they want to make sure they win all 3 maps.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is completely a learning game, and I believe one of the deciding factors on this next map will be who adapts more to not getting killed by Diva bombs, if that makes sense. So in addition to success of Monkey Dives, which we have still been working on, and St. Albans, they've actually gotten much, much better since we first saw them on Busan. But they're still just not as like airtight as the Icy Beanie going in dive combo because they've been playing with each other for a really, really long time, and they're very close friends in real life too. So they're just an unstoppable dive combo.
Interesting to see here as we hop onto the last map. Does look like Frost has come in for the side of Boise State. Going to put up the Sombra arc on the Sombra as well for St. Ambrose. So the Junkrat has been thrown to the corner here. And it looks like for now Boise State on that high ground, sort of waiting for St. Ambrose to come to them. Cloud going to jump in once again. He will drop low. Frost in. He is behind Sinfax. So the first elimination is going to go on to Azure Rose. And Boise State has to like how that fight started out. We do see Frost now getting right up close and personal there with Alyssa, who's going to jump off, dropping very, very low. Cloud going to go down as well. Unfortunately, Azure Rose has respawned. Arc will fall. Boise State now officially up 2 is Jarek dropping very, very low. Sinfax dropping low. The mech going to go down. And Boise State, you have to love how this fight started as they'll pick up a couple eliminations here and make St. Ambrose wait for everyone to respawn.
Absolutely. For the same reason that we have a lot of success on the side of Boise State with Monkey Dives, we have a lot of success with the Sombra hacks. We have the ability to target focus. Everybody's listening to Icy as the primary shot caller. It's really just an amazing thing to see. We got them all swept off of high ground, and at that point it was just a matter of everybody hitting the same thing that was preferably hacked.
You see the EMP much closer for Boise State, basically doubled. Narvel's going to start it off, though, with an elimination onto Sinfax. Reaper down for Boise State. Frost is going to get hacked by Arc, as we see Narvel's immediately going to drop the Death Blossom. Not going to be able to pick up any eliminations, but Pleb will be able to take down Cloud in the process. Azure Rose going to fall, so will Jarek. The mech goes down. Alyssa going to be forced to just kind of sit there and let Boise State delay that spawn as long as they want. The Broncos, once again, winning another huge fight.
We absolutely should have had somebody pushing on the cards right after we killed the monkey there, because we just lost a lot of card percentage, and it doesn't really matter how amazingly you win the fight if you didn't get any card points for that, because there's no reward in winning that fight there. There's no, after the monkey was dead, we were up 2 and they were down their primary DPS, because Sombra's very useful, but she doesn't do a lot of damage herself, and we didn't even move the card at all for winning that fight.
Frost, he was trying to set up a big EMP, hesitated just a bit much. It was found out there by the Alyssa. Boise State does have 4 ultimates. St. Ambrose has 3 as well. As we see, a huge EMP is going to land onto 5 members of St. Ambrose. Cloud, the only surviving member, had the Primal Rage, but Boise State not going to get any eliminations as the EMP falls. Icy actually the first one to go down with the Diva Bomb coming up. Sound Barrier going to be used as well by Azure Rose as Narbles falls, and Boise State looks like they're going to be forced to retreat. EMP up for Arc as well, and very rarely, D'Angelo, do you ever see a team get 5-man EMP'd and then end up winning the fight, as Boise State going to be forced probably to concede this first point as they're just getting pushed back by the side of St. Ambrose. Beanie Bum dropping very low, going to go down, and St. Ambrose, I don't know how they survived a 5-man EMP.
Because Boise State wasn't ready to commit on that 5-man EMP, which is either Sombra dived too soon or everybody else didn't dive quick enough.
Boise State actually going to get back onto the point.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if St. Ambrose got distracted, if they pushed past the point, because Boise State's actually picked up 2 eliminations now as the Primal Rage and the Diva Bomb have both come out. And St. Ambrose, you could see how close they were to the point. I don't know what happened because Boise State immediately respawned and was able to make it back, something I wasn't expecting.
Icy happened. Icy with Primal Rage happened as the first death to the Diva Bomb, which was probably unfortunate and not intentional on his part, but which actually ended up working really, really well in Boise's favor because he was able to come in Primal Rage on that point until his Diva got there and until everybody else got there with the Lucio speed boost.
Arc does have the EMP. He's going to drop it. It's only going to land onto 2 members, and then he immediately is going to go down. Beanie Bum is unfortunately going to fall. Sinfact will fall, so St. Ambrose is now out of DPS. They'll use the Coalescence to try and make up for it. Primal Rage going to come out, and a huge 4-man EMP landing on every member of St. Ambrose who is sitting on the point. The Death Blossom follows, and there's not much the Bees could do. Boise State gets the full wipe. Arc and Sinfact just respawn. They're not able to make it back, and the second EMP is the big one as Boise State holds.
Oh yeah, we're having some absolutely massive EMPs. And when the reroll came out, my first thought was, that seems like a little bit of overkill. But then I realized that it was overtime, and there is no such thing as overkill. So that was really fantastic to watch. That was we didn't even let them cap first point, which was really, really impressive and almost didn't happen because we almost didn't have Icy there in time to stall that point.
Yeah, I mean, I was already all right. Boise State had the 5-man EMP, as you mentioned, D'Angelo, maybe not ready to go in. St. Ambrose won that. They were just running down with the point, and then, as you said, Icy happened, actually working out that he died so early in the previous fight to the Diva Bomb. He got back, and now Boise State, I don't want to say their work's cut out for them, but they only need to get basically the first point, so there's not going to be too much pushing the Broncos need to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and high ground control is going to be the ultimate key to this. You leave somebody on cart, and then you proceed to wipe them off of high ground so that they can't use it against you, and you hope you get a couple eliminations.
You see here, looks like Boise State going to run it back all the same. Arc this time going to jump off the Sombra onto the Tracer, so it's all on Frost. He's the only man with the EMPs, and I think a 5-man EMP, Boise State will be ready this time.
Oh yeah, fantastic. I mean, they better be ready this time, because that was truly, that's Frost, man. Oh my god, that was amazing. And you didn't even get any limbs for that.
Yeah, you rarely see, I mean, it canceled out the Coalescence, shut down a couple of ultimates, and unfortunately Boise State wasn't able to pick up a single elimination. We do see everyone on St. Ambrose on the high ground. Narbles gonna jump right up there and try and do as much damage as he can. Jarrett gonna be the first one to fall. Arc going to get hacked, going to go down as well. Who needs the high ground? Boise State doing a great job. Unfortunately, Beanie Bum will fall. Cloud going to get eliminated. Alyssa is going to get hacked on the side by Frost, and Boise State winning this fight as the mech goes down and the Broncos pick up the first one, but they're probably going to have to win at least one more if they pick up the pieces.
Oh yeah, absolutely an amazing job by Boise State there. We walked up and just wiped them off of high ground, and the Moira dropped too late and ended up dying. The tanks dropped first, they dropped well, but they really needed to all drop together so that their Moira didn't die and then they didn't proceed to 1v1 everybody else.
See what Boise State wants to do. You can see the parking space they need to get to. Narbles immediately going to fall over, though, trying to maybe get St. Ambrose napping. Whipple going to pick out Cloud, though, to wrap things up at one aside. Jarek and Azure Rose dropping very, very low, but Quibble will be forced out of the mech and now has to be very careful. Boise State is going to get a hack onto Alyssa. Pleb just has the Coalescence as he's dropping very, very low. We'll see if he wants to commit it, holding onto it for now. There's the EMP by Frost, and it's going to unfortunately completely whip. Sound Barrier is going to come out from Azure Rose. The Coalescence is going to come out from Pleb. A huge Diva Bomb by Quibble once again, followed up by a huge Death Blossom. Doesn't matter that Alyssa got one. Boise State with the team kill, and that's going to be more than enough to win that match.
Absolutely amazing. Took us 2 fights to win there, 2 very long engages there. We didn't even technically lose a fight there because there were just 2 very long engages in which we lost people. But that was an absolutely amazing attack by Boise State there.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to think of it. Boise State on that map had a 5-man EMP, didn't win the fight, and then a 0-man EMP and got a team kill. So, you know, as for as much power as you want to put on the EMP, Boise State doing a great job making up for that earlier one that they might have wasted. So Boise State going to take all 3 maps against St. Ambrose here in the NECC regular season. Boise State off to a fantastic start, D'Angelo. But that's not all we have. We have more Overwatch coming up next. But before we get to that, what are your final thoughts for Boise State in what started out as a very close match, and then they ended up really sort of dominating that last game?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Boise State just did an amazing job with being coordinated in their dives. Wherever Icy was, we also had Quidgeable there, and we also had Beanie there. And Beanie and Icy have been playing forever, so they know what the other person is doing. But Quidgeable has just integrated himself into that so well that our dives are able to be as successful as they are. And in addition to Rezo just having absolutely huge ultimates, regardless of what character he was, it enabled us to win, and we did a really, really good job of not only learning, but adapting. And I'm really proud of our team.
Well, like I said, there's going to be another opportunity for Boise State. We've got another Overwatch game coming up, and then we'll wrap things up with the Valorant game from last Friday against Florida State to make sure that Gridiron Rivalry Series is bowed tight and make sure that it goes off. Hopefully well for Boise State, because right now Florida State leading that series 2-1. But yeah, I'm going to be curious. I mean, for Rizzo in this next Overwatch match, I know Boise State does have some rotating parts, which is always nice. He's got to keep up the 1 junk tire kill average or rip tire average, which was absolutely insane. So ton of pressure on Boise State, but I think it was a great start for the Broncos today, and I can't wait to see how this next match goes, D'Angelo, because Boise State, they let everybody know you can kick them in the teeth, but they're going to kick right back.
Oh, yeah, we're doing an amazing job here, and I mean, ultimately, I do believe that pressure is one of the best things that our team functions against, because pressure motivates you to learn. Pressure motivates you to do better, and we're already relatively motivated to do that.
Well, we are. Before we go into our next one, we do have a player of the game. D'Angelo, do you have any predictions while we get that all set up?
If it's not Izzy, I'm going to cry, because we had a Peak Master rise to the challenge of a top 500 monkey and come out absolutely uncontested on top. Our dives were so solid. We did an amazing job of calling those and by following through on those and by not picking bad ones. And it really was just a fantastic overall team effort, but Icy would have been the one leading that. And so, give me the player of the game.
Well, unfortunately, D'Angelo, I might say that you might start crying, because I think it has to go to Rizzo, because, I mean, those rip tires weren't on point. I'm sorry. I get it. Tanks and supports need love, too, but what catches everyone's eye, it's the eliminations. It's the scrolling eliminations on the side. Our Reapers played well, but Rizzo had insane rip tires on the first couple of maps, so we are going to see who it is, and it's going to be Quibble, actually, a member that neither of us picked. I mean, talking about eliminations, you said it, nobody ready for the Diva Bomb. He probably average at least one elimination every time as well, which is incredibly impressive for the Diva Bomb that is so telegraphed.
Oh yeah, because he has the trickiest angles, and it's really just fantastic to watch. If you ever see where his baby Diva was, or where he's launching the bomb from when he gets the eliminations, like, it's somewhere you never would have had any idea that you could throw a Diva Bomb there. And I do believe that's why he's so consistent at getting eliminations.
So big shout out to Quibble and all of Boise State for taking all 3 maps against St. Ambrose. Everyone on the Broncos doing very, very well. As we talked about, Icy going up against Cloud, who, as we heard from the head coach of St. Ambrose, is a top 500 tank player, and he did a very phenomenal job, as you mentioned, D'Angelo. But kills get everybody's attention, and Quibble did a great job of doing that. So huge shout out to him being the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. So a huge congratulations to Quibble, who is your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game for Boise State's win over St. Ambrose here tonight. But as we talked about, that's not all we have as we take a look at some of the fantastic highlights from the action. We have another Overwatch game coming up for Boise State. So, hey, pressure's on for Quibble, as I said, for Rizzo as well. You got to keep up those kill averages, because that's the flashy part. That's what we all care about. So we'll see if anyone's ready for Diva Bomb in the next set of matches, D'Angelo.
And I absolutely believe that Quidgeable is going to continue being consistent, because he's been consistent in all the other games we've seen as well. I believe that's part of his draws a player is his consistent, really good diva play. Because he's always with us on the dives, and he's always getting those tricky diva bomb kills that are just amazing to watch, by the way. And he's just an all-around amazing teammate, and he really does make Boise State a better team. A great player does make us a better team, and Quidgeable does contribute to that.
Well, we are going to take a quick break while we get everything ready for the second Overwatch match of the night. And as we do that, we will leave you with the top 5 plays from Boise State St. Ambrose. But like I said, don't go anywhere. We've got Overwatch and then Valorant to wrap things up tonight, all coming up next. Of the point. Cloud dropping very low. He's going to get eliminated. Boise State still holding on to that sound barrier for now as overtime starts off. Jarek has respawn, but it's not going to be there in time. Riptire is going to pick up 3 if you count the mech. Sinfac's going to fall as well. Alyssa just a matter of time, and Boise State 5 members down for the Fighting Bees. The Broncos will hold just... It's true, unfortunately, with the respawns coming out as the Diva Bomb does come out. Icy's going to fall again. Azure Rose going to go down. A huge Death Blossom comes out from Rizzo to get 3 and help Boise State turn around what had been a losing fight. Quibble going to go off the edge. Art going to use his own Death Blossom. He's going to kill onto Beanie Bum. Pleb going to use the Coalescence. He'll get a kill onto Cloud. Now Boise State. Blossom, but Beanie Bum gonna go down with the sound barrier online. There's the Coalescence and the Death Blossom. It's gonna get a combination of 2 members on the side of St. Ambrose. Primal Rage did come out. Syntax gonna use the Riptire, but it's not going to land in. Boise State, despite losing a member early, going to be able to wipe up St. Ambrose. There goes Cloud. Just have to get the payload to the final point. And Boise State, it was a rough start, but they're gonna win Blizzard World and win. Immediately is going to go down. Beanie Bum is unfortunately going to fall. Sinfact will fall, so St. Ambrose is now out of DPS. They'll use the Coalescence to try and make up for it. Primal Rage going to come out, and a huge 4-man EMP landing on every member of St. Ambrose who is sitting on the point. The Death Blossom follows, and there's not much the Bees could do. Boise State gets the full wipe. Arc and Sinfact just respawn. They're not able to make it back, and this Frost is going to unfortunately completely whip. Sound barrier is going to come out from Azure Rose. The Coalescence is going to come out from Pleb. A huge Diva Bomb by Quibble once again, followed up by a huge Death Blossom. Doesn't matter that Alyssa got one. Boise State with
Here in Idaho, we do things a little differently. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. Next, always use fry sauce. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. We call it pop, not soda. We always put a lift on our pickups. And we always buckle up because we still have a lot we want to do, and I'm guessing you do too.
Since 2016, universities have been adding varsity esports, competitive intercollegiate video game teams, with nearly 100 colleges and universities now with official programs. Esports is fast becoming the new college sport. But with any dramatic change comes criticism. How could institutions of higher learning promote something so trivial? But when you look a little closer, esports demonstrates, just like other sports, that it's a pathway to something more.
There's several misconceptions when it comes to esports and its place on the university campus. The first and foremost is that people would say it's not a valuable learning activity. It's not a place where people can learn new job-related skills or maybe get a good industry feel for what's happening outside the university environment. And that's just simply not the case. And all evidence points otherwise. There are so many new jobs. The industry is absolutely booming. People are looking for students that are graduating with experience in things like streaming and technologies, marketing, the whole business side, sponsorships. There's the whole graphics and coding component that involved in esports and other video game type of activities that are really important just in terms of jobs and industry.
And on their way to those careers, students who attend schools with varsity esports programs can compete for their university. But in order to be eligible, students have to meet the same high academic standards as other student athletes.
You have to maintain a certain GPA. You shouldn't be playing constantly. You should have like a certain time frame and like practice for like 2 hours a day or 4 hours a day. You shouldn't be just like overwhelming yourself.
Care about your grades first and foremost. As Dr. Haskell said, he cares about our grades first because we came to college to get an education, to get a degree, and then we also get to do what we love and play esports.
Athletics and other university-sanctioned activities bind students together with purpose, a chance to be part of something bigger than yourself, where we learn to work hard, play a role, lose with dignity, win with honor, all for our school. This is why we play.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are continuing on with our triple header tonight. 2 Overwatch games, wrapping everything up with a Valorant game. Boise State winning the first Overwatch game, and we are on to the second one. This time, Boise State taking on Midland University, Broncos versus Warriors. I am Michael Fisher, joined by Colby, D'Angelo, Alloway, and D'Angelo. Boise State did a really good job in what was a very even match against St. Ambrose, so we'll see if there's more of the same coming up against Midland.
Absolutely, and I really hope there is more of the same because it's just amazing to watch the teams learn and improve as they continue to play. And from what we've been told, it's going to be a close match, and it's one that I hope Boise State comes out on, and I do fully believe that we have the ability to learn and adapt to whatever they're going to throw at us tonight.
Yeah, Boise State and Midland, at least from our early reports, very, very close in ELO. As you see there, Broncos versus Warriors here in the NECC Collegiate Overwatch. So it is going to be 3 maps played here, regardless of the score. So I'll be curious to see how the Broncos do in this one, because Boise State, with a very back-and-forth win against St. Ambrose. So I'll be curious to see. I mean, as we talked about, the learning does come into it, because the first map in our first game, there was some extended fights that were kind of on both sides, allowing the other team to get 50-60% on the point. So it'll be curious to see if in game 1 there are those mistakes that are made by both sides, and then if they are able to adapt. Because like you said, Boise State did a really, really great job adapting and realizing, all right, hey, we lost this fight, let's reset. And on the other side, St. Ambrose did an okay job, but they still had a tank who was like, hey, I'm a monkey, I'm going in, and then he just kind of fell over.
Yep, and they didn't have the solid little dive triangle that we have of Icy, Quidgible, and Beanie, which ultimately contributed in no small amount to the immense success of our dives. And I mean, I said it when Quidgible was already player of the game, but I'll say it again, he's just an amazing player and a great asset to Boise State, and we're happy to have him.
Yeah, you see the rules there. It is 3 games, not a best of. No hero bans in an 8-week regular season. So even if one of the teams wins the first 2, as you would usually in a best of 3, you just call it. You say, hey, it's 2-0 thing. That's not going to be the case. We'll play all 3 maps regardless of the result. So don't get too concerned if we're playing in the next map isn't, hey, for fun, the other team wanted to play. This all counts. So every map means something here for Boise State and for Midland. It is going to be interesting to see, and it is going to be a different team for Boise State. The Broncos fortunate enough to field 2 full Overwatch teams of very equally skilled players. So, orange and blue squad. I think this is what we call the blue squad internally for Boise State coming out here. So a chance for some new players to get on the stream and make some highlight plays of their own.
Absolutely, and some of the players that we're going to be watching for here are Block, Goblin, and Plato. Goblin and Plato being both fantastic DPS, and then Block just being the primary shot caller for that team. So most of the strategies and things that are more behind the scenes are going to be Block's doing.
As we do here, we're going to load in on Dorado, a map that we're very familiar with. D'Angelo, it almost feels like the new Kings Row at this point. Every time we get to Escort, it's almost always Dorado. So I know everyone might know it, but fill us in. What are the keys here as we get into the game?
Well, so the meta is a Monkey Diva dive. Well, a Monkey Diva dive, but if you're mirroring, you play it sort of like goats. So, but the key to first point is going to be high ground control. Absolutely high ground control. If you want to win first point, or if you want to have a shot at full holding, you want to control the high ground up until the payload goes up on the ramp. And then at that point, it's who can run into each other better or who is up more eliminations.
We are going to hop right into it there. You can see Goblin up on the far Mercy coming out for Boise State. Walk, meanwhile, up in on the front line. No one has gone down yet as the payload has made it around that corner. Boise State sometimes with the payload push in so that you are able to get Goblin to put those shots on. As you see Scout and Sky dropping extremely low. Kel very low for Boise State and is going to get hacked. So the Broncos have to be careful as Noro is extremely low. Boise State right now still trying to find their first elimination as the payload has continued pushing. Kel dropping very low. This pulse bomb is going to come out from Plato. Going to pick up the first elimination onto Noro. We'll see if the Broncos can push from here. Emerald dropping very, very low. No other second elimination that allows Boise State to really push as Goblin is going to fall. And so will Glock. Plato answers back to make it a 2-on-2. Emerald now going to be forced out of the mech. We'll see if Boise State can get a kill onto the Baby Diva. Sky sitting on that Coalescence. Not going to be used in time to save Shiloh as Boise State is able to pick up one. Emerald able to get back in the mech, but not in time to save Sky. So both supports down for Boise State. You can see Goblins back into fight as the missiles rain down from above. Plato is going to go down. Ult online for Goblin as the Broncos pick up a couple more eliminations. And you can see just how close the payload got, but Boise State able to survive.
Plato carry, question mark? That was absolutely amazing to watch him get all of those eliminations when, to be honest, I mean, I believe in these guys to the end of the world, but I totally thought that fight was lost. But then Plato killed all of them as Tracer, and it was fantastic, honestly.
Now we see the next fight going to break out here. There's still 2 minutes to hold as the Rocket Barrage picks up 2. Sky going to go down as well, and Boise State should have an easy job holding this time as the payload is going to be pushed ever so slightly back and time bleeds off.
Target eliminated. Hello.
Boise State trying to hold on. Minute 47 seconds left. The payload at one point was 0.9 meters away from Midland capping first point. So there's still a few fights left in them. You can see a ton of ultimates online. Everything but the Rocket Barrage up for Boise State and 4 up for Midland, including the sound barrier. So Boise State going to have to try and get an early pick here on to Shiloh as the Rockets come peppering in.
Absolutely. We want to try to get an early pick just in general because, I mean, they have a massive ult advantage. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look like that, but they have an EMP, and that's their win condition this next fight. And actually, that Moira pick is huge because they're not...
EMP is going to come out. 2 members going to be hit for Boise State, but the Valkyrie and the Primal Rage were used. Transcendence immediately used by a large bagel. As soon as the hack falls, Noro going to use his own Primal Rage. Scout trying to survive as Plato chases him down. Now the Tracer has to get back to the point as a large bagel is going to fall. Boise State trying to hold on. They'll trade that kill for a kill onto Noro as the front line's down. Emerald going to use the Diva Bomb. It is going to pick up a kill onto Kel. So Boise State now without their own tank. Rocket Barrage came out, but Goblin was immediately destroyed, so Boise State going to waste that ultimate, unfortunately. Sky Coalescence is here, and Boise State starting to run out of members onto the point, trying to hold for as long as possible, as Plato going to get punched, and Midland eventually going to get that first point.
I mean, EMP was their win condition. They played to it relatively well. It was a little bit of a shaky situation, EMPing and hard engaging after your Moira was already dead, but it did end up working to their favor in the end, but they used a lot more ultimates than they had to, but so did we, because that was a really, really long engagement. So now what we're watching for is the Death Blossom.
Yeah, we do see Goblin swapping over to the Reaper. The Pulse Bomb is online for Plato. Scout's got his own Death Blossom online that Boise State has to be cautious of. No other ultimate really close to being obtained by either team. What in the backline can take a couple of shots from Goblin and then teleport back. Boise State really hasn't done much to slow down the pushing of this payload. Pulse Bomb went out from Plato. Not going to get any eliminations for it. Emerald, though, going to be taking quite a large amount of damage. Scout now going to use the Death Blossom. Unfortunately, not going to get any eliminations as Emerald's mech the first one to fall, and he will go shortly after. A large bagel, though, unfortunately pays for that, is what is able to get him in the backline, and Boise State without without their support, still trying to push forward. Guac does have the Primal Rage as Noro falls down. Goblin doing a great job getting that pickup, and Boise State with an excellent hold there, trading a couple members back and forth is what teleports out.
It was excellent. The Reaper ult is really, really hard to use if they have high ground advantage over you, which is why Boise State was playing the high ground, because the only way Reaper can get up to high ground is if he teleports, and if he teleports into 6 people on the high ground, he gets melted and dies. So he wasn't able to get a lot of value out of that Death Blossom. But they do have EMP coming up.
Death Blossom is going to come out from Goblin. Coalescence from Sky and Asu both going to be used, but Boise State going to be the huge beneficiaries of this fight. They're going to pick up 3. Sky dropping very, very low as well, should be able to fade out. And Boise State kind of got distracted there chasing the Sombra, but they are able to win the fight eventually, but that payload's getting closer and closer.
Absolutely, and I mean, you know, it's kind of hard to win a fight with a Sombra EMP if you're down 2, so they made the wise decision and saved it for this fight, but now they have EMP Bomb, which is where bomb awareness is going to determine whether we win or lose this next fight.
EMP is going to come out. It's only going to land on the Guac. Transcendence forced to be used by a large bagel is what is going to pay for it. Emerald's going to immediately use the Diva Bomb up on the high ground, so Boise State able to evacuate that quickly, but the Primal Rage from Noro is able to pick up a pair of Broncos. Scout does go down, and the team's trading right now at 4-on-4. Boise State waiting for the respawns. Asu going to fall. Kel now going to take out Sky, so both Moiras have gone down as everyone else has respawned and tries to get back into the fight. Emerald out of the mech is going to go down. Noro falls, and Boise State once again barely hanging on as we're in last fight territory.
I mean, we almost lost that when Asu died, but then Kel killed their Moira, and then that's a much more even fight. And they don't have the Sombra for the EMP anymore, but they do have Sound Barrier to kind of go against any sort of like high damage ultimates or sticky situations that they want to go in. Or they could just aggro beat, wall and run into us and try to kill somebody.
Well, there is the beat coming out from Shiloh. Goblin going to be the first one to go down. Guac in a Primal Rage, but unfortunately, he's already lost 3 members on his team. As angry as that monkey is, there's only so much damage he can do. Overtime has been activated, but I think Boise State is smartly going to have to sacrifice that point. So a minute and a half on the clock for Midland to get the final point.
They smartly sacrificed the point without feeding them any more ult charge than was absolutely necessary, because they're already at some of an ult advantage because they have the Reaper ult online and we don't quite yet. But we probably should before next engagement if we play our cards right and we don't get hard staggered or that sort of thing.
Kel going to lose the mech as Boise State nearly got a pick on the Scout, but he was able to retreat. Pulse Bomb online for Plato. Both Coalescence is up, and you can see Bob online as well as the Diva Bomb for Midland. So Boise State's got to play around a couple. Transcendent just coming up as the fight breaks out. Under a minute left. Pulse Bomb's going to start it. There's 3 thrown right at him as Midland's going to Death Blossom Bob and use the Diva Bomb. Coalescence going to get one as Boise State survives that. They had to use all of their support ultimates as well, but the Broncos are currently sitting up 2. Primal Rage going to come out. Noro going to take down a large bagel. Sky dropping very, very low, but able to sustain and get back to full life. Goblin still sitting on the Death Blossom right now. Going to finally use it, and unfortunately for Boise State, he's not going to find any eliminations, but the Broncos have pushed Midland back. Warriors trying to survive. Under 20 seconds left here before we get into overtime. A very long fight that's seen almost every ultimate in the game, at least that's available by both teams thrown at him. Here comes the Tracer Bomb and the Diva Bomb coming out from Boise State. Neither explosion going to find much of a footing. Coalescence immediately popped by both Moiras, and the Sound Barrier comes out from Shiloh as neither team has found a footing. Guac going to use the Primal Rage here as we get into overtime. Boise State finally gets an elimination onto What, and Guac has more in front of him. Swinging his fist as hard as he can, not able to find another elimination, but the health bars are dropping very, very low for Midland. Shiloh finally going to go down. Boise State up 2 as the respawn is out. He switches over to Tracer to try and get back into the fight, but Noro and Scout are going to go down. Sky and Emerald have to hold the point for Midland, trying to stall out for the rest of their team, but they're both going to go down, and Boise State with an excellent near hold is what's able to get there. He goes down, and Boise State, that was a good, that felt like a 2-minute fight there.
That was absolutely amazing. It was longer than most fights. It was probably about a 45-second fight of actual fighting, not even the engage and disengage, because there wasn't disengage. But the single most important thing that was used in that entire 45 seconds of fight, where we saw almost every ultimate come out from almost every member of both teams, was the Tranquility that was able to cancel not 1, not 2, but 3 ultimates, which was absolutely fantastic, and a large bagel deserves just a little bit of clapping for that.
Yeah, I mean, that was insane. No, go ahead.
We had absolutely so many ultimates used there, but the Tranquility was single-handedly the most important because it denied the Bob, it denied all of their DPS ults, it denied most of the Primal Rage, and it was just fantastic placement. And he had just gotten it too.
Yeah, I mean, it really felt like, as you talked about, the fact that it canceled out 3, because it felt like no DPS ult, or really tank ult for that matter, did much of anything. I don't even know if a single ultimate got elimination outside of maybe a Primal Rage from one of the monkeys. So yeah, a great job by both supports holding on, and Boise State in the end victorious, but they still got a long way to go. This is not a simple walk in the park. They basically have to get all the way to the final checkpoint and then almost cap it before if they are going to take this map.
But you know, having to almost cap it is better than having to full cap it.
That is true. That is true. Almost is only good in horseshoes. You get a point if you're close. You don't get any points. And hand grenades, yes. You get points, and you know you can usually get an elimination with those if you're close. But for Boise State, they right now still have to be able to get to this point. You do see Scout does have a turret there in the back line. Boise State going to scout that one out. They're going to take it down immediately. But Goblin is going to go down. So will Asu. A large bagel going to follow. Boise State feels like they've just got to reset.
Wow, and see, they're doing the strategy that I had talked about, that Boise State was doing a different strategy where they focused on pumping damage into them before they got to them. They're focusing entirely on high ground control here, which they have pretty dominantly if the triple kill by the Ash, 2 of which were headshots, is anything to go by.
Goblin going to swap over to the Widowmaker here, see if he can click on any heads, as he's immediately going to get Noro down. The monkey falls at Boise State, now wants to push the advantage. Emerald going to get forced out of the mech. He will go down. A turret's going to join him in the graveyard, as Scout does not have much damage right now, as he is going to fall. And Boise State, once that Widowmaker came out, Goblin just clicking on heads. Another one going to go down. The Rockets from Cal going to get it, and Boise State, one simple swap. Feel like it made all the difference. As Scout now, he gives up on the Torbjorn. He's over to the Reaper.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Boise State did an amazing job of adapting because we got completely wrecked that first fight, and then we came back and completely wrecked them, and that's one of the strong things about our program is the learning. And just Goblin is a hit scan specialist in general too.
Red does come out. Bob is going to come onto the field, giving what an extra member to make up for Scout going down. Coalescence going to pick off Emerald, and Boise State right now enjoying at least what was a good start to the fight as the Coalescence picks up another one. Rez is going to come out, and Bob doing more than enough for Midland to make up for the member that they had lost earlier in the fight. Noro has gone down to a large bagel. We do see the Coalescence and the Valkyrie both committed by Midland. Guac sitting on the Primal Rage, going to use it to heal all the way up to full life, but right now hasn't found elimination. A huge 5-man EMP by Boise State, and a great job by Plato, and that might be enough for the Broncos to get the first point. As Sky's going to go down, Guac is going to fall as soon as the Primal Rage goes down. Diva Bomb not going to pick up anyone for Kel, and Boise State, a 5-man EMP, unfortunately only results in 1 elimination. Noro going to use his own Primal Rage on the point. As you can see just how close the payload is. What is going to get an elimination, but Kel and Goblin answer right back with two of their own. Scout tries to use a Death Blossom, immediately canceled out. All he has to show for it is a kill onto the mech. Gonna get the resurrection though onto what Boise State doing a great job in this extended fight of holding on. Shiloh going to go down, and Midland's health bar starting to bleed as the Diva Bomb comes out as Emerald lost the mech. Not going to get any elimination. Sky dropping very, very low. Can Boise State find another one as what gets picked out by Goblin? You can see Boise State has been able to sort of brute force their way onto the point, so they have unlocked the next part of the payload, and now they're going to finish up the fight, so Boise State should get a great push.
Absolutely great job, and Boise State ultimately won that really, really long engage because we had shorter spawns. So if you're on defense, usually it's a bad idea to take a really, really long fight because usually they have much shorter spawns than you, and we just witnessed the result of that.
Look like what he's a little bit annoyed with Goblin getting all of those headshots, so he's going to swap over. Scout went onto the Ash and immediately got bopped in the head, so Goblin going to have the advantage for Boise State as it is a 6v5. What dropping very, very low. Infrared sight is going to come out by Goblin. He sees the Widowmaker around the corner. We'll see who wants to peek first. Unfortunately for him, What's going to keep hiding, and he is going to get a kick onto payload. What a headshot by Goblin mid-air, and that's going to probably turn the fight for Boise State, or at least make it a little bit easier for the Broncos squishy members to exist. But a huge coalescence by Sky, going to pick up a couple. Valkyrie going to be used by Shiloh, and Boise State, despite those picks by Goblin, going to be forced to retreat back.
Those were some excellent picks by Goblin, who is, I mean, a hit scan specialist, and I believe Plato is a more flanker specialist, so it's really just amazing that we have DPS that complement each other so well and do different things. But that coalescence really won that fight for them because it came in when everybody on the side of the friendly side of the Moira, it came out when they were all low and Boise State was all low, and that's ultimately the perfect time to coalesce, is when you can heal your team and kill somebody else.
Again, what's going to lose the battles of the Widowmakers? He is going to get revived, though. Goblin has to be careful, though, as Emerald's in on the backline for Boise State. Diva Bomb is going to pick up Shiloh, so Boise State up 1. Primal Rage going to be used by Guac to stay alive as what goes down, and so does Sky. Boise State with the immediate advantage in this fight, as they are currently up 3, make that 4, 5 as well, and Boise State going to get the point. They're going to have 3 minutes on the clock to try and answer and win this match.
And ultimate advantage with our own Moira ult, we're going to ignore that. With our own Moira ult to push and a Lucio ult to try to like combat anything tricky that they try to do, because they're getting relatively close to Bob as well.
Now what, unfortunately, after going 0 for 2 in the Widowmaker 1v1, he's going to swap off onto Tracer, so Goblin now all alone as the infrared sight comes back as the lone backline sniper for Boise State. We'll see if Scout can get any picks of his own. Boise State right now wants to start the fight. Coalesce, it's going to come out. Bob is going to join, and so will the Diva Bomb. Both teams going to trade 1 for 1. You can see the critical health bars on Boise State as Kel is going to be forced out of the mech and immediately going to go down. A large bagel will fall to Bob, and it feels like for Boise State this is probably the best opportunity to maybe fall back here and just wait for everyone to respawn.
Absolutely, we see Asu trying to get as much pushing as they can before walking out there. We lost because we were out of sight of the Coalescent. When people were dying, they were out of sight of the Coalescence, and everybody wasn't more or less grouped up so that the Moira could get the maximum amount of value out of that Coalescence.
Looking for me?
Do see a couple of swaps coming in. Shiloh going to go over to Lucio. Goblin, now that there's less room here, he is going to swap over to the Reaper. Boise State, as we talked about, does have the EMP and the sound barrier online and the Diva Bomb. We have just the Coalescence up on the side of Midland, and both looks like both DPS have swapped over for the Warrior. Diva Bomb going to start the fight, won't get any eliminations, but Guac is going to get a kick onto Scout. 2-man EMP is going to land, but Plato unfortunately has to pay for it with his life. Sound barrier going to be used by a large bagel, going to land onto everyone except Cal, who was forced out of the mech. Primal Rage going to be used by Noro as he's going to jump right in onto Boise State and the payload. And the Broncos have expended every ultimate, and there's nothing on the side of Midland either. Boise State doing a great job here. Emerald's going to get back into the mech, but Guac is going to fall. Asu going to use the Coalescence, but it's not enough to save either tank for the Broncos, and now Boise State, without a front line, probably going to be forced to retreat here. Emerald dropping low, but the Broncos aren't able to break the mech. Goblin is going to fall as well, and Boise State quickly running out of time. Just over a minute left as you can see the Broncos retreating.
That was a really unfortunate EMP that we had. But we've been able to completely charge a Reaper ult, which is going to try to be our next win condition, if we can use it before their Lucio gets his ultimate.
See,
that is our win condition.
65% for Shiloh on the sound barrier. Tracer Bomb is going to be up, but Tracer's going to punch down Goblin, so there is no Reaper ultimate. And you can see for Boise State the immediate disengage. The Broncos know their win condition. They've got to wait for Goblin to respawn.
They absolutely know their win condition. They're trying to get the Reaper on high ground, and they're wanting a nice, clean wipe in this next fight using the Reaper ultimate. And the Lucio has a really good chance of getting their sound barrier before we can use the Reaper ultimate as well. So they're going to have to be extra tricky about how they try and do this.
17 seconds left. Tracer Bomb going to be used. There's the sound barrier immediately by Midland. What's going to get one? Scout's going to get another one. The Death Blossom immediately canceled out. A Death Blossom going to be used by Scout this time and the Coalescence, but unfortunately they're not going to pick up kills, but Boise State probably not going to be finding a way to push the payload. Time has run out. Overtime has started, and Boise State is already down 3. Make that 4 members. A large bagel going to try and do what he can as the Diva Bomb from Emerald is going to come out. That won't land onto anyone, but a large bagel falls, and Boise State, they got close, but Midland's going to take that map.
They got very close. We lost a total of 2 fights on points 1 and 2. We lost 2 fights. Some fights were really, really long, but we lost 2 fights. And then when point 3 hit, we lost almost every fight that we took there. And I believe a lot of that is because of not getting value out of ultimates. We didn't get value out of Somber EMP. We didn't get the Death Blossom the way we really, really needed to. We just weren't getting, people were out of sight for the Coalescence. We weren't getting value out of these big, huge ultimates that we needed to get value out of.
Yeah, and like you said, the two-man EMP for Boise State, and then just the death blossom immediately canceled. So unfortunately for Boise State, it felt like they were close, but they couldn't quite get it done. But don't worry about that. There's still 2 more maps to go, and like we talked about, it isn't a best-of scenario. So even if the Broncos drop the next one, they still have a chance to win the final map here against Midland. But yeah, it really it felt like we saw it in the first game today against St. Ambrose. Ults were the king. This time it feels like the team's a little bit better at preparing for the ultimates. Didn't feel like there were many ults on either side that had this huge value for either team. And so Boise State not able to get it done when it mattered most.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Both teams are struggling to get value out of ultimates. Boise State more so than Midland. But it's just a little bit... Ult usage is actually one of the easiest things to fix. That's one of the quickest things to learn from, because usually when you misuse an ult, you know exactly how you could have done it better. Like immediately after you use it, most good players will be like, this is exactly how I could have done that better. And Boise State is a learning team. And we lost that narrowly because of misuse of ultimates, which is partially on us, but also partially on the enemy team being more prepared. But I do believe that if we execute those ultimates better, I do believe that we will be in a much better position to catch them off guard. Because there's only so much you can do against a well-placed EMP Blossom combo or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you land into 5 or 6 man EMP, you could be the most prepared team in the world. You're probably not going to survive it. So yeah, I'll be curious to see how Boise State, once they handle the next map, Midland winning this one. And I will have to say, though, the one thing for Boise State you got to take away is what probably has to be extremely tilted, that Goblin just absolutely wrecked the man in the Widowmaker 1v1. So I'll be curious to see if whatever considers going back to a sniper the rest of these maps.
Oh yeah, Goblin... So there's this thing that goes on in Overwatch. It's like this sort of like sniper dominance thing. You determine which sniper is the one, and then you're like, okay, we either have to hard focus that guy so that he doesn't get any value, or the sniper 1v1 continues. So now I actually wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot more focusing and Goblin's life got just a little bit harder, because he's proven that he is definitely a hit scan that needs to be watched and or dealt with. And if you can't deal with him with another hit scan, you're gonna have to find something. Otherwise, your entire team is gonna be headless, because Goblin will absolutely get all of that reliable headshot damage in.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a couple times Emerald basically had to resort to sort of chasing down Goblin after what went down, but unfortunately for Boise State, Midland was victorious in Game 1. We will head into Game 2 on Hybrid here, D'Angelo. And from Boise State, is there any keys you think for them to pick up a victory here?
Ultimate usage, I would say, would be the biggest one. Because, I mean, again, a certain amount of it is the enemy team being prepared for it, but also... we did that was a really unfortunate EMP, and that was a really, we could have set the Death Blossom up for success better, especially considering it was our main win condition. And, like, yes, the enemy team is prepared for ultimates, but also we can play with and use them better.
So we'll have to see. There it is from D'Angelo. Ult management, ult usage got to be a little bit better for Boise State to pick up the second victory and bring us to a 1-1 draw before we go into the third map of the game. But we are going to first go over to Hybrid, and I'll be curious to see. We saw Blizzard World once today. I would not be shocked if we go back to Kings Row here, but it'll be interesting.
Scrims Row.
I mean, honestly, the fact we got Blizzard World blew my mind. I was like, that's a map? I thought we were just playing Kings Row. I was ready for it. I was ready for the Kings Row camera. Boise State camera crew is obviously fantastic at Kings Row because we play it so much. But we got Blizzard World, so I'm really hoping that we get a surprise pick. And here it is Blizzard World.
Here it is again, Blizzard World, which is actually a real treat to watch last time. And I'm sure because the teams are so evenly matched here again, I'm sure it will be amazing to watch here as well.
Yeah, and as we talked about it, you can see that little perch right there where the Griffin goes by. That's kind of the waiting spot for at least what we saw for Boise State, where they like to go. The other team just kind of said, hey, come to the point and, meet us there, and that's what we'll have for a 1v1. So it is kind of interesting to see the first point defense for teams and how it sets up on this map.
Most coordinated teams are going to want to go on that perch because there's a couple things you can do there. First of all, it sets you up in the best position to get your tanks diving safely and that sort of thing. Second of all, it's a great sniper perch, but you usually don't want to have just a sniper up there in higher elo games because you don't want to have anybody by themselves in general. And it's also, you can bait people to come up there, like we saw with Cloud. Cloud immediately jumped in, the Reaver teleported in with him, they were murdered. And then they didn't do that again. So they didn't get murdered again in that way.
So as we do get into the map, be curious to see where the defending team wants to set up as the gates open to Blizzard World and the teams can kick things off. And it looks like Midland's going to go for the flank round here. You have the Sombra on the other side, but nobody wants to mess with the high ground. There they go. They're going to pop out right next to the statue. And Boise State, they were not in the high ground. They were back on the point here. So Goblin chilling there on the Torbjorn. Turrets all set up around the corner. And Boise State going to try and hold on here. What on the Sombra hasn't been seen yet by the Broncos as Emerald is dropping very, very low as the fight breaks out right on top of the point. Boise State doing a great job right now holding on. Plato, though, going to drop very low and immediately fall, but Guac's going to answer with a mech kill and a kill onto the Reaper. What is on the back line? Goblin hacked at 4 HP, and before anyone can get over there to heal him, what is going to get an elimination to even things up, and now Goblin's going to have to make the long walk back to the point here.
I was a little shocked to see Ryan Zarya coming out, but Guac's doing an excellent job as Reinhardt.
Yeah, a couple eliminations picked up there by Boise State. What now trying to do what he can to put some damage and get closer to that EMP. Noro going to go down, and Boise State doing a great job in a 5v6 here, getting a couple of eliminations. Goblin is going to get hacked. He's going to lose the turret, but Scout going to fall once again, and Boise State have a huge advantage, and now Midland probably has to wait for the respawn.
Absolutely amazing, and Boise State has a Ryan Zarya more brawl-centric comp. So, as long as they can force Midland to come to the point, they have the advantage and they should win that fight unless there's a fight-tipping ultimate or unless somebody's mispositioned.
Well, there's the 4-man EMP that might flip it for Midland University. What was it on the back line? Kel immediately going to go down, but Boise State is going to survive. Besides that, Asu going to get hacked after the Coalescence came out. Shiloh will go down, but Boise State going to lose Plato and Guac in the process. So now the Broncos going to have to try and hold on. Goblin now over to the Tracer. A large Vega will fall as well, and Boise State, as you talked about at the end, a fight-flipping ultimate. That was what had,
yep.
And the 5-man EMP should be enough to get the payload as Goblin tries to do what he can, but he's sort of caught out in a bad spot.
And I mean, that is the power of EMP. Even against coordinated teams, you can absolutely get value out of an EMP. Especially since our comp is so centered on staying together as opposed to like a Monkey D.Va where they're more split and you have more, the Sombra has to pick who to EMP. When we're all together, she doesn't have to make a choice. She can just EMP everybody.
Boise State had a couple of members come charging in there, had a couple eliminations, but it wasn't enough, so the payload has spawned for the side of Midland University. Guac is back, and the only ultimate up right now is Goblin with the Tracer Bomb, but what has been huge, he 1v1 Goblin a couple times in the backline, so Boise State's got to try and find out that Sombra, who's already at 50% on the EMP.
Oh yeah, absolutely. EMP is going to be their win condition because, again, we're a relatively close together comp, so we're going to have to be super, super careful and outplay that, or even swap.
Noro is going to go down. Hack does land on the Guac. What dropping low. We'll see if Boise State's able to get the elimination. Does not appear to be so as Emerald gets a kill onto Kel. He is going to have to pay for it though. Mech is going to go down. Boise State's going to try and find the baby D.Va, but not going to get any success as Sky is going to use the Coalescence to keep Emerald alive, and Boise State's going to have to retreat. Coalescence so used by Asu. There's a huge 3-man stun by Guac with the Earth Shatter, but Shiloh's Sound Barrier comes out just in time to keep everyone alive and flip the fight. Scout going to take down Guac. Goblin gets a kill onto Emerald. Both teams now without a tank. Shiloh dropping very, very low. Meteor Strike going to be used by Plato. We'll see if he can pick up elimination with it. He comes slamming down, knocks Shiloh very, very low, but not enough to kill him, and he will have to pay as the Primal Rage comes out from Noro. Kel hacked, he drops low. A large bagel forced the Sound Barrier, only landed on himself, and Boise State now without that ultimate, probably going to have to retreat.
That was an absolutely amazing Sound Barrier, by the way. It saved not only the Earth Shatter, but also just the rest of the fight. Because Boise State was in a really good position to follow up on that Earth Shatter, but all the follow-up in the world isn't going to help you against the Sound Barrier.
He's going to trade 1-for-1 as the EMP did land onto a couple of members of Boise State. Now Scout going to get one with the Death Blossom. Plato going to answer right back, and Kel will get one as well. So Boise State surviving the EMP this time, and now they're going to go up 3 in the fight. What, and Noro probably going to be forced to go back. So Boise State this time surviving a modest EMP. It hit a couple members, but
absolutely. Boise State is a learning team. That's what we do. If you notice, we were watching a large bagel on the screen, and he hid through the EMP, and several other members of Boise State did the same thing, so that the entire team just wasn't caught out by an EMP. And it seems like we have the swap onto Monkey from Reinhardt, which actually is pretty good because Sombra kind of bullies Reinhardt.
Grab is going to come out. What Noro going to go down? Emerald does get one in revenge on the large bagel with the Diva Bomb. So we'll see how Boise State wants to hang on. Plato going to win the Battle of the Reapers. Scout will fall. So Boise State going to use the grab. The big success there. They'll win that fight in a minute and a half left for Midland to find their way to the second point.
Yeah, a large bagel was an unfortunate casualty there, but it was relatively insignificant in the terms of Boise State winning the fight. And now Boise State is playing much differently, much more spread out. They have more control over the high ground because their Winston has more mobility, and so I do believe that we made the correct swaps.
Well, Coalescence are going to come out. Unfortunately, the health bars for Midland are not going to be sustained. Death Blossom going to get one on to Scout. Primal Rage has come out from Noro, but he's already down to 50%. Boise State holding strong here. What has swapped over to the Tracer despite the success of those EMPs. Boise State now has a couple members very, very low. Shiloh forced to use the sound barrier, lands on to 5. Boise State answers with their own sound barrier and their own grab. No DPS ultimates to follow it up though, but they're still going to get a pair of kills. Emerald going to be forced out of the mech as well, and Boise State, another huge grab from Kel's going to win them the fight, and now Midland's got to get ready because there's only 30 seconds left.
While Sombra still would have worked, I'm not surprised that they swapped off of Sombra when we swapped off of Reinhardt, because really, Sombra Reaper is just the way to completely, like, portal playing Reinhardt into that, to be completely honest, because it's just got to be horrible. So I'm not super surprised that they swapped off the Sombra once we swapped off the Rein.
Pulse Bomb available for Goblin. He's going to drop it down. No one going to be eliminated on the side of Midland. Boise State holding on to the Primal Rage. Diva Bomb going to be used by Emerald. Squat counters with his own ultimate. Emerald not going to find anyone. Goblin in on the backline. Ace going to use the Coalescence as we get into overtime here. 0.2 meters from capping in a time extension, but Plato's going to use a Death Blossom there. He's going to pick up Scout, who is sitting on his own. We'll see if Boise State can finish off the game before Scout can get back into the fight. Walk dropping very low. Emerald's going to lose the mech and his life, and now Boise State sitting up 2. Overtime tricking down, or a nice reset there by Midland, but Boise State's going to get a handful of eliminations. Scout has respawned. Can he get back in the point? Time to use Death Blossom. No, he cannot. Boise State holding just 2 meters before the second checkpoint.
And an absolutely amazing job by Boise State being able to hold that central high ground there, because that was key to their victory. You hold that central high ground, you basically hold control of that entire point, because it rotates all the way around, so you can see everywhere they're trying to approach you. So that's really, really important to keep and hold that. And once we had that, and once we had the Winston swaps come out, there wasn't a whole lot that Midland was doing with a lot of success.
So now Boise State once again has their target. Unfortunately for the Broncos, last time they knew how far they had to make it and couldn't quite get there. So we'll see if Boise State is able to do it. And do you think the Broncos will pull out this Sombra like Midland did on offense, or do you think Boise State's got another comp in mind?
I don't necessarily think our DPS are as comfortable on the Sombra as they are on other heroes. So actually, while Sombra I do believe is the meta pick, Comfort also plays a role in heroes too, because Comfort lets you do things like get value out of ultimates, know which 1v1s you can take, and things like that. So I actually think that while Sombra would work, because it's a meta pick, so would more Comfort point picks.
Have to see what Boise State...
Oh, and we obviously have to have a Widowmaker because Goblin exists.
Oh yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with a Widowmaker, especially if Midland wants to take that high ground. They're going to be open to some quick headshots from Boise State. Doesn't look like for now the Warriors really feel all that comfortable sticking their tanks up there. They're basically going to try and have Boise State fight them on the point and duke it out brawler style.
Absolutely, and tank lineup will determine how the brawl works and how the team wants to play, really. I mean, because it does with every comp.
There is
you called
it. You called it on the Widow. What actually on the Sombra defensively? So we'll see if he can get any huge EMPs to shut down the Boise State push. Noro already dropping very, very low. A couple of great hit markers for Goblin. No eliminations just yet, however. What already building that EMP up to 60%, by far the highest in the game. So Boise State going to have to be very, very careful if a fight breaks out. But right now, Scout is going to go down. The Broncos up 1, and they are right in the face of the Warriors. Plato has been hacked, but he's still sitting at full life. Unfortunately, unfortunately couldn't quite find the head. There he does. He's
there
going
it
to
is.
find it on the sky. He knows Emerald has to come get him. Going to be forced out of the mech. Both tanks actually going to go chase down Goblin right now. And Boise State going to benefit by getting a free tick onto the point. And then some. Might even get a second one there as Shiloh goes down. And Boise State almost gifted the payload there by Midland as Nora will fall. That's how scared they were of Goblin. He drew everyone.
A noble sacrifice on the point of ground. I mean, your Moira's head gets blown off. You, as a tank, the first thing that goes through your head is, oh, I killed that. And I mean, we saw that. And another huge thing for Boise State was Asu, bless his soul, got the early pick on the Reaper before the brawl started, which is a huge deal.
Yeah, I mean, and you've always talked about, D'Angelo, when you're up 2 is when you can push the headshot onto Sky, put Boise State up 2. And now the Broncos, though, they do have to be careful. The EMP from what is online, you can see him there in the back line. There it is. It's going to land onto 5, but not before the grab came out. Unfortunately for Boise State, they are going to lose a couple of members. Coalescence going to be used by Sky there as well. Boise State did get one pick onto Scout, but they are going to go down with a great 5-man EMP to shut down Boise State's grab.
I mean, yeah, we knew the EMP was coming, and I'm sure we tried to grab to counter it or something, but I really think we just should have let them use the EMP, kind of thrown that, and then take the grab into a more successful fight, because we have the time to choose that.
Coalescence is going to come out there. What is going to get a punch onto Goblin in the backline? Boise State will take out Emerald, though, so it is a 5-on-5. Primal Rage has been used by Guac, and him and Kell are going to combine for a couple of kills as well. So Boise State now sitting up 3 as the respawns start to come out for the Warriors. What very, very low. Scout going to go down. What will fall as well, and Boise State will see really how fast they can get the payload pushing because they have a chance right now, but I think we're going to see one more fight.
We're going to see a mostly staggered fight on the side of Midland, so Boise State will have to make some pretty serious mistakes, or Midland will have to get some absolutely huge DPS ults that kill people, which they're close to with the Reaper.
Downbarrier going to come out, landed onto 5, and a large Bagel's going to answer with his own. Emerald's the first one to go down. Tank line completely eviscerated for the Warriors. Scout dropping very, very low, but Shiloh and What going to be the first ones to fall. Scout will get 1 kill, but Boise State's going to clean up everybody else, and the Broncos cleanly push to a win on Blizzard World and square things up at 1 aside as we head to our last map.
That was an absolutely amazing job by the Broncos. The Reaper ult wasn't able to get value, and that was their win condition coming into that staggered fight to get Boise off of that point.
Despite the Broncos win, it is going to be Emerald picking up the play of the game here. And this is where Boise State, they came in maybe trying to see if they could get a sneaky defense of the point, but it really felt like Midland already had it, but the game decided that's the play of the game, but Boise State victorious anyway.
Which is what we're hoping for here, and now it just comes down to the final map to see who wins both maps. So it'll be really, really interesting to see how both teams do once the pressure exists there to be the ultimate winner of the best of 3, even though we play all 3 maps anyway. Boise State is doing a much better job of not only using their ultimates, but also avoiding enemy ultimates. The Sombra only had 1 good EMP that was able to hit everybody on that attack. And that was kind of inevitable, honestly, because not only did they have the high ground on point 2, but they also just had ultimate advantages in addition to that. And so if Boise State wanted to push the payload, they were going to have to take at least 1 lost fight to that EMP. And they definitely had time to do that.
Yeah, and as you mentioned during it, it kind of felt like Boise State should have accepted and said, hey, just hit us with the 5-man EMP. Let's get on with things. But the grab was wasted, but Boise State did not drop after that. They ended up winning that one. So, yeah, as you mentioned, we are going to go to the 3rd map. We would have played it regardless of what it would have happened on Blizzard World, but now we can see who is going to come out victorious. You see the rules there for the NECC competition. It is 3 games. It is Control, Hybrid, and Escort heading to Control next. No hero bans in an 8-week regular season. So Boise State hoping to get off on the right foot. We've already seen the orange team come out victorious. We have the blue team can, as you said, D'Angelo, win the overall 2-1. We don't know quite how the scores worked out since they play every map, but Boise State doing a great job coming back on Blizzard World.
I mean, it's always nice to win when you can. And I do believe that we have the ability to win if we continue to play like we just did.
Yeah, so we'll be curious to see who is going to come out victorious there on Control. I mean, we see a lot of love for what in the chat, at least the one DPS member of Midland, and he's had some huge EMPs.
Yes.
He definitely bullied Goblin on Blizzard World, a couple kills when they were attacking, a couple kills in the backline when they were defending, but it wasn't enough overall to get Midland to get victorious there. So I'll be curious to see how What is able to handle that and how that sort of mini duel between him and Goblin goes, because Goblin got it on Dorado, but Midland won. Feels like What won the 1v1 on Blizzard World, but Boise State won, so might not be the case of who wins the 1v1's team is victorious.
Well, What is very, very comfortable on Sombra, and that's obvious because of his skill, because of the placement of his ultimates, and just he's always the last one in fight, and it's just very obvious that he's very comfortable on that hero. Whereas Goblin is comfortable on hit scan heroes. And like I said, Boise State doesn't necessarily have a player where Sombra is their favorite, or they feel super amazingly like top 3 heroes I can play with Sombra. But Midland definitely does in Y, and that's obvious, and we can see that.
Yeah, so we will be wrapping up the Overwatch portion of the broadcast tonight. Once we get to the third map, you don't want to go anywhere, though, because we are going to have Valorant against Florida State to wrap everything off and put a bow on the Gridiron Rivalry Series that we started last Friday against the Seminoles. So you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to check out after this Overwatch game. There's still a ton of fun action, but like we said, this is for who wins it. They're tied at one map aside. We're going to Control, and for Boise State, after winning that map, you have to think the Broncos may have figured something out, because we talked about it. This team has shown that they learned quickly. They started to dodge the EMPs. They started to handle how Midland wanted to play. So I'll be curious to see if Boise State maybe has a more dominating victory here on Control, or if Midland learned some things and is able to answer right back.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Y is a very, very skilled Sombra. And there are certain maps with certain places where an EMP is almost unavoidable. But for the most part, I do believe that Boise State will be denying him a lot of EMP ultimate value, which is our win condition. Because if Sombra is able to get those EMPs, as we've seen, you just get rolled. No matter how good of a team you are, if you're all hacked and they're all on you, you're dead. That's just kind of how that works. And Y is able to consistently get those, so Boise State has to be better at consistently avoiding those.
Of course, after this match wraps up, we will have a player of the game. I saw somebody in chat maybe getting some early nominations. Looks like Guac, Asu, some of the ones leading the charge there for Boise State for potential player of the game. But hey, you make one big play here to wrap things up and win this map, you might have yourself the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game for Boise State. So be curious to see who wants to step up big here for the Broncos as they try and break this 1-1 tie.
And Guac and Asu were actually the two biggest players that got a lot of value out of their ultimates. They learned a lot. And they just played overall better together. Guac played more in Ace's line of sight. They were more communicating. They just did a better job of meshing together as main healer and main tank. And I believe that's also part of what won them the map.
So as we get in here, any expectations, D'Angelo, for the first fight for either side?
We might try to pop out with the Reinhardt again, just because Mecha Base is such a closed map. But I think that with What's skill on Sombra, that's a bad idea, and a Reinhardt's going to get bullied. And so it doesn't seem like we're actually going to come out with that, which I feel no small amount of relief.
Well, we are going to have to see. There's no Sombra on the side of What. Scout going to get the first unofficial elimination, taking down one of Goblin's turrets. Sky dropping very, very low. Goblin here in on the back line as Plato gets the first pick on to Emerald. Down a tank, now down both of them. Right now, all Midland has to show for it is 2 eliminations onto a couple of Goblin's turrets, as now Goblin will go down to Scout. We'll see if Boise State can get the elimination as they have picked up a pair of Warriors. There goes Scout down as well, and Boise State going to go a long way into winning that first fight.
Goblin was an unfortunate casualty that fight, but it had very little bearing on who actually won that fight. And first fight is the most important fight. So Boise State has set themselves up to have a lot of success on this map. Now hopefully we can hold on to it.
They're able to dodge the pulse bomb there from What, only an ult that Midland had, but he is able to get an elimination onto Plato regardless, as he isn't on the back line there. So Boise State now start the fight down one. Coalescence is going to come out from both Asu and Sky, trying to put some damage and stabilize the health bars of both teams as a slight disengage comes out. Goblin's turrets, unfortunately, going to be another demise from Scout. Graviton going to come out from Kel. They're going to pick up Emerald and Noro. No tanks alive. Goblin might be another unfortunate sacrifice for Boise State, as they're going to pick up What as well. They are up 2 2, and Boise State doing a great job, even with Goblin unfortunately paying for it once again.
That was a fantastic grab, by the way, because we were down 1 DPS, and usually Reaper's the one you want to send into the grab just because he does so much damage in close range, and they can't move away from him. But Rosario was high enough charge to make up for that and just wipe everyone that was in the grab.
Bob going to be used by Scout. Valkyrie used by Shiloh there as well. Boise State sitting on a couple of ults, and they're going to get 2 picks to start it. Death Blossom's going to make it 3 for Boise State. A large Vega was forced to use the sound barrier. Kel, the only one who is going to be knocked off the edge with Noro using the Primal Rage. Guac now going to be stuck in the grab, but no one's going to fall as Boise State now loses a couple of members, but that was all in the base of Midland. So Boise State, despite losing that fight, already up above 80% as Guac sitting on the Primal Rage, but unfortunately for Boise State, they probably are going to lose the point here.
Yeah, and Guac clean wiped there. He didn't try to do anything fancy. He just wanted to get back to the rest of his team, which I do believe was the play. He didn't try to use his ultimate or anything like that because they just need to win one more fight. And even if it was at 99%, they would only have to win 1 more fight. And now, because so many ultimates were used in that last engagement, ult economy is relatively even. So Coalescence is going to be the best that they have.
Coalescence is going to come out from both sides. Going to use the Primal Rage there from Guac as well as Emerald and Sky will fall. Boise State up 2, and they're going to throw the grab on for good measure. Unfortunately for Boise State, what's going to get an elimination on the back line, but Scout and Noro will go down. So Boise State, they find the Tracer now, and they find Shiloh, and Boise State with a clean win on that fight might have enough as they wait for the respawns here, as they only need 10% more.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, Goblin died, but having the Tracer on your Widowmaker instead of on your tanks is usually pretty good.
Emerald is going to go down. Death Blossom, huge from Plato, is going to pick up 2. Noro goes down as well, and Boise State going to take the first objective. You called it, D'Angelo. They only needed 1 fight, and win that fight they did.
And I mean, that's nothing super amazing about Boise State. I mean, Boise State is amazing for other reasons. But when you're in the high 80s like that, you're in 1 fight territory. Unless the other team is exceptionally fast and they all manage to get there, you have to have like a Lucio speed boost and a super mobile team, and it's just not usually doable in most situations.
Yeah, for Boise State, the thing that kind of makes me laugh is it feels like or at least even Scout a couple times, they get a kill on the Goblin, but he's so far away from the rest of the team that it's almost pulling resources off the main fight. So you see Goblin go down, and then 3 members of Midland go down at Boise State. They'll take that trade every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting to watch Goblin play Torbjorn because he plays Torbjorn still like a sniper, so like 100 meters back, which is just really entertaining to watch and actually is working to our advantage quite a bit.
Okay, almost full comp swap here for Midland as Exu go onto the Wrecking Ball and the Pharah there. See, they also have the Mercy, but Boise State does not care what that time. He's going to lose the 1v1. Goblin's going to pick up the first elimination. He is dropping very, very low. So is Noro. He will fall down. Emerald has to be sustained, and now Boise State has eyes on to Scout as the point has unlocked. Nobody finding any score point right now. So we see Emerald's going to go down, Mech and all, and Boise State now going to capture this first point. And it feels like for Boise State, that was all about Goblin getting the first pick, and what now? Back on the Widowmaker. He wants to answer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That Pharah is a very brave man going up against a Widowmaker with the skill of Goblin. But this is one of those maps where the Pharah can actually flank with some success, and there's a decent amount of cover for him to hide behind. So he must be very confident on Pharah going up against Goblin. So maybe we'll see some really cool stuff out of that.
Goblin sees what there, but there's also a Wrecking Ball in his face. He's going to try and run away. As you can see, Midland committing all of these resources right now to trying to take down Goblin. Noro almost paying for it. There's the first snipe onto Scout. Sky has gone down as well. Boise State enjoying Goblin's hit scan as Kel's going to punch Shiloh in the face. Boise State is going to lose Guac, but what will go down? And Boise State has to love how that played. Once again, a ton of resources by Midland being thrown at Goblin, and he survived.
Oh yeah, and it wasn't even... He was able to get to Asu, and Asu was like, come here, you're going to live. I'm going to get you through this. It's going to be great. And then he proceeded to kill and assist in killing 3 more people. So it was definitely worth saving his life.
Emerald was the baby diva, but what right after the infrared came out, what's going to win that one? We can now see if there's a chance for Midland to push here. Coalescence going to be used by Sky. You can see what over in the corner. Unfortunately, Scout is the first one to go down. Valkyrie has been used. We'll see if a Resurrect can come out from the side of Midland. Right now, Boise State doing a great job presenting it. Sound Barrier going to be used. Minefield comes out as well. Unfortunately for Boise State, the Death Blossom isn't able to pick up anything. Diva Bomb on the side of Emerald, not able to get anything for him. And Goblin, he's back in the fight. He gets the first elimination onto Sky. What can he use the infrared sight? He gets a great pick onto Plato, but he's dropping very, very low. He's still able to survive, and now he will go down to Kel. Primal Rage being used by Guac. Boise State surviving Goblin going down, and they're going to get a couple of eliminations. Resurrect comes out onto what? But Emerald's going to have to pay for it. Not sure you want to resurrect the DPS when your tank line is dead. And now there's just one last chance here for Midland. We are into overtime. They've got to play Ground Pharaoh on the point to try and keep it alive. What? Once again, going to snipe out Goblin, but I'm not sure it's going to matter as he'll get punched down by the Lucio. Scout is going to fall. Noro trying to hang up there and just bleed out overtime, allow some respawns to come. You can see the Lucio coming out, trying to get the speed boost. Tracer coming out from what as well. But Boise State doing an excellent hold right now. The mech goes down. Noro's going to fall. Baby Diva will go down. So once again, the Midland is without any tanks. Boise State trying to get another elimination here, just sitting on the point. What is going to fall once again on the Tracer? The Ground Pharaoh not going to work at Boise State. 100-0 there to take that one.
An absolutely amazing job by Boise State. What started as a relatively close game, they learned from it. They were able to prevent them from getting any % on this second map. And I'm really proud of their learning capabilities and how far they have come from first map to now here.
We see the play of the game. This one is going to go over to the side of Emerald as he won a fight where Boise State was very, very close in the spawn, but it did not matter. The Broncos are victorious, so they will win 2 maps to the 1 of Midland. As we have wrapped everything up, it is time for our player of the game. I do believe there is a poll right now live in Twitch chat if you want to cast your votes. At D'Angelo, I know you can't vote because you're up here with us, but who would you vote for player of the game?
Vote Asu. He's a great main healer, and he did some great things that game. I mean, you don't see him in the kill feed a ton, but you would see a lot more of Boise in the kill feed if Asu wasn't there. So
I would have to say that, one, Veritel, I appreciate the vote, but there's no C in my last name, so I'm not sure if there's another Michael Fischer out there or not, but I do not have a C in the name, only an S. I would have to say I almost want to give it to Goblin. I mean, I know he didn't have the kills, but there was like 3 members just chasing him down. Boise State's like, okay, you go kill the Widow, we'll kill the rest of your front line and take the point. So I almost feel bad for Goblin, want to give it to him as sort of the distracticopter, as I like to call him.
Goblin was terrifying. He got enough kills to terrify the enemy team into chasing after him. So, I mean, that's just kind of a victory in and of itself. Like, when you're such a scary DPS that half the team comes after you, like, that's your acknowledgement right there. Teams kind of throwing fights and leaving their tanks just unprotected or unsupported by DPS because they are so afraid of the value that you can get if not dealt with or distracted.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people voting for the tank line of Boise State, so we'll have to see who is going to be our Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game for Boise State, winning 2-1 here over Midland. It isn't a best of 3. They just play all 3 maps, but Boise State won 2, and there was a one map win for Midland. And we kind of talked about it. Boise State, they dropped the first map. They learned. Second map, not as clean, but a little bit cleaner. And the third map, they just kind of took it home, especially with that 100-0 victory at the very end.
Yes, they did an amazing job, and part of that is because Midland was putting a lot of resources into the Pharah, and the Pharah didn't get a lot of value. She didn't get a barrage off that entire time, and she didn't really get any of the picks because our Moira was able to completely negate all of her poke.
Looks like we're hearing here that the chat has voted as who the player of the game is going to be, but I don't want to spoil it for you. I'm sure chat can see the results. If they can't, I don't want to spoil it for you. But it wasn't Goblin. I'll give that one away. My pity vote per Goblin, my push for him to win despite probably having the most deaths on the team, that one didn't vote out.
It's not a pity vote. It's fine. He probably had the most kills, too.
If he didn't have the most kills, he definitely had the most assists, I would say, by proxy. Proxy assists. It's like
proxy assists, both proxy assist and the actual assists.
Yeah, so we will have to see here who our Idaho Central Credit Union player is going to be. Don't go anywhere, though, because we still have more action. We are going to have Valorant coming up to wrap up the Gridiron Rivalry Series from Florida State. But before we get to that, it is time for the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game. And thanks to the votes in Twitch chat, it is going to be Guac winning it.
Guacamole. Sorry, I had to just once.
And there's nothing wrong with guacamole. I mean, there's a Chipotle right across the street. Always nice when there's a break to say, hey, I always want some chips and guac. Let's go over there. So, yeah, great job by Guac and the rest of the boys. And as Twitch chat said, tank line, you know, I saw a couple tank diffs in the chat from people, so that's where it came in. Is Guac on the tanks was the one that won it for Boise State. At least Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game is what he wins.
Absolutely. And I fully support Boise State in their tanking endeavors, and I do believe that both teams have an amazingly solid tank lineup.
As we see some of the highlights from the action here against Midland, a big congratulations to Guac as the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game. Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes that a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. So a big shout out to Guac, the Idaho Central Credit Union Player of the Game today for Boise State with a 2-1 victory over Midland here in the NECC Collegiate Overwatch regular season.
Oh yes, and Guac adds so much more than skillful tank play to the team as well. He's one of our best tacticians, strategists, whatever you want to call it. He's one of our best play callers. He's one of our best ultimate trackers. He's an overall just fantastic, even if he's not getting a ton of kills, he is probably orchestrating everything else that happens and trying to be the one that avoids everything the other team is doing. His predictions with what the enemy team will do and won't do are almost completely uncanny, and he just adds a lot to Boise State, and so I am very proud and very happy that he was voted Player of the Game.
Yeah, so Boise State, they end up victorious with a come-from-behind victory, if you will, losing the first map, winning the last two, and defeating Midland. So, great showing for Boise State in Overwatch tonight, winning both their matches against St. Ambrose and Midland. But like we said, you don't want to go anywhere. We have Valorant coming up next. I know I see that people in the chat are asking for Chizu to join us. Well, let's just say we have good news for you if you stick around. But like we said, Valorant versus Florida State coming up next, right after these top 5 plays in a short break. As you can see, Midland committing all of these resources right now to trying to take down Goblin. Noro almost paying for it. There's the first snipe onto Scout. Sky has gone down as well. Boise State enjoying Goblin's hit scan as Kell's going to punch Shiloh in the face. Boise State is going to lose Guac, but what will go down? And Boise State has to love how that played. Once again, a ton. Very careful if a fight breaks out, but right now Scout is going to go down. The Broncos up 1, and they are right in the face of the Warriors. Plato has been hacked, but he's still sitting at full life. Unfortunately, couldn't quite find the head. There he does. He's going to find it on the Sky. He knows Emerald has to come get him. Going to be forced out of the mech. Both tanks actually going to go chase down Goblin right now, and Boise State going to benefit. Boise State now has a couple members very, very low. Shiloh forced to use the sound barrier, lands on to 5. Boise State answers with their own sound barrier and their own grab. No DPS ultimates to follow it up, though, but they're still going to get a pair of kills. Emerald going to be forced out of the mech as well, and Boise State, another huge grab from Kell's going to win them the fight, and now Midland's got to get ready because there's only 30 seconds left.
Plato killed all of them as Tracer, and it was fantastic, honestly.
Now we see the next fight going to break out here. There's still 2 minutes to hold as the Rocket Barrage picks up 2. Sky going to go down as well, and Boise State should have an easy job holding this time as the payload is going to be pushed ever so slightly back and time bleeds off. Have enough as they wait for the respawns here as they only need 10% more.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, Goblin died, but having the Tracer on your Widowmaker instead of on your tanks is usually pretty good.
Emerald is going to go down. Death Blossom, huge from Plato, is going to pick up 2.
Here in Idaho, we do things a little differently. First rule, camouflage never goes out of style. Next, always use fry sauce. I mean, why wouldn't you? Hold steady when out-of-state friends think you're from Iowa. We call it pop, not soda. We always put a lift on our pickups. And we always buckle up because we still have a lot we want to do, and I'm guessing you do too.
Since 2016, universities have been adding varsity esports, competitive intercollegiate video game teams, with nearly 100 colleges and universities now with official programs. Esports is fast becoming the new college sport. But with any dramatic change comes criticism. How could institutions of higher learning promote something so trivial? But when you look a little closer, esports demonstrates, just like other sports, that it's a pathway to something more.
There's several misconceptions when it comes to esports and its place on the university campus. The first and foremost is that people would say it's not a valuable learning activity. It's not a place where people can learn new job-related skills or maybe get a good industry feel for what's happening outside the university environment. And that's just simply not the case. And all evidence points otherwise. There are so many new jobs. The industry is absolutely booming. People are looking for students that are graduating with experience in things like streaming and technologies, marketing, the whole business side, sponsorships. There's the whole graphics and coding component that involved in esports and other video game type of activities that are really important just in terms of jobs and industry.
And on their way to those careers, students who attend schools with varsity esports programs can compete for their university. But in order to be eligible, students have to meet the same high academic standards as other student athletes.
You have to maintain a certain GPA. You shouldn't be playing constantly. You should have like a certain time frame and like practice for like 2 hours a day or 4 hours a day. You shouldn't be just like overwhelming yourself.
Care about your grades first and foremost. As Dr. Haskell said, he cares about our grades first because we came to college to get an education, to get a degree, and then we also get to do what we love and play esports.
Athletics and other university-sanctioned activities bind students together with purpose, a chance to be part of something bigger than yourself, where we learn to work hard, play a role, lose with dignity, win with honor, all for our school. This is why we play. Boise State Esports is proudly supported by Game Pants, esports arenas and equipment. Omen by HP. And Archon Clothing. Boise State Esports is brought to you by Game Pants Arenas and Equipment, Omen by HP, and Archon Clothing, makers of official licensed Boise State Esports apparel.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena as we are wrapping up our triple header tonight. We just saw Boise State victorious in their 2 Overwatch matches against St. Ambrose and Midland. And now it is time for the continuation and finale of the Gridiron Rivalry series that we started on Friday with Boise State taking on Florida State in Valorant. Here to wrap things up. First time we've seen Valorant in quite a while. Of course, the newest game by Riot trying to get into the FPS genre. I am Michael Fisher, and I'm going to be joined by Adam Chizu McGuire to call all of the lovely head-clicking action. Chizu, how are you doing?
Oh, man, not that I completely forgot that we had to do this today, but, you know, I just thought after the excitement of what was this weekend with Hugh Fest and everything, we had covered everything. So here I am, you know, grilled cheese in hand. We're good to go, baby. It's time to click some heads. Let's go.
Let's do it. If you forgot where we left off, Boise State is trailing 2-1 in terms of overall games against Florida State. The Seminoles winning Rocket League and League of Legends. Boise State taking back Overwatch so we can force a 2-2 draw and then an arm wrestle between the two directors, I'm going to assume, to break the tie. So a lot of pressure on the Boise State Valorant squad that we haven't seen, Adam. I know, Chizu, we cast a Valorant sort of tournament, a get-to-know the game in the local area. Right. We have not seen the Boise State Valorant squad at all this year. So I'll be very curious to see how talented these players are.
No, straight up, man, absolutely. And real quick side note, shout out to the chat side of things, who apparently, if you Beetlejuice it enough, I will appear. With that said, though, just like the Boise State Valorant team, they show up, man. That match that we watched, it may have been an in-house, but there was a slew of absolute fierce talent on the Boise State Broncos side. Again, it was kind of a Boise State versus Boise State with like a peppering of like Solpan, who's no longer with us, kind of thing. He's not dead; he's just somewhere else. You know, it was really, really good to see what Boise State has to offer. It's been a while since we've had a chance to really dive deep into this, so I'm curious to see what Boise State has done. It's probably been 2 or 3 months since last. Like, I feel like this was pre-corona kind of stuff. Oh my God, was that 9 months ago? Anyways, that being said, very excited to see what Boise State has to offer tonight.
Yeah, it will be exciting. I think one of the former Overwatch players, Blue, is sort of leading the charge there and putting together the Valorant team. So it is going to be nice to see the flavor. So it is going to be nice to see what exactly is going to go down in Valorant. Because like you said, yeah, it feels like it's been forever ago since we cast the game of Valorant. So going to be a little bit interesting to see, you know. But I mean, we know the point of the game. Click heads, easy enough.
Yeah, it looks like Bind is going to be our first map here. So as far as all things considered, we can take a look kind of at the lineups. Nothing too spooky and over the top as far as selections are concerned. You're seeing your Cyphers, your Omens, things of that nature. Not a big deal. Phoenix as well, you're going to see a lot of rewinds. Actually seeing the Sova here for Boise State. Really liking that addition to the crew. Give themselves a little bit more vision as well as a, we'll say, discount Honto.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. I always like to see also how the teams sort of attack on attacking there, or to see how things sort of break down. It looks like we can see the attacking side is sort of all focused in here on a B rush here. You can see the defense, of course, has to defend both things. So I do like to see how the rotations come out, how the information is given from both teams here as the gates have unlocked and the smoke screens do come down.
Yeah, and you see the little click there on bathrooms, one of the most terrifying places. The boom bot goes down after a couple of pops of the pistol, and now we're going to throw out a tracking dart. Actually going to get that one taken out there. So what marked for a quick second was Lycan. Shell is going to have a couple of options here. That's my favorite spot to hide in Haven, right behind that little box. They'll walk right past you. Not going to be the case for the side of Boise State, as they will check that corner. Nothing there. Little do they know there are some individuals in the further back, but so far no plant and no true aggression. No bodies have hit the floor yet.
Yeah, both teams just kind of waiting. You can see Florida State has 2 members sitting on A. Boise State right now, at least fully committing to the B side. You said no bodies. There really hasn't been much health drained either. The shots have gone out, but really no one's hit, and Boise State now has to start worrying about the clock as they're going to go across the map. That teleporter makes everybody know Boise State's fully swapping to A.
Well, and there's definite information. The flare is out and is good, but nobody going to fall there. Sentry is going to fall as well. Another great flash there from the Phoenix. Is going to have a Boise State member taking at least a shot or 2. As we see Boise State going to lose their first one, and the rush is on. That is a great shot from Let's Go. A second one to follow. Only 2 from Boise State remain, releasing everything, the clip, and then some. It looks like another one's going to fall, but Boise State right now, 1 and 2. Spike is going to be planted here. Kings are coming out, and domed to the face. Boise State is going to fall here, as Florida should be able to defuse this with no issue. Round 1, Florida State.
Yeah, you thought maybe the Phoenix was going to get it. He got to. Unfortunately, Boise State, while he was off 2v1ing, lost everybody else. Couldn't quite get it there, as you said, as the spike was being diffused. But a great start for Boise State. It really just felt like they couldn't make up their mind. They couldn't get any picks onto B, so they eventually had to take the teleporter back to A. Makes it sound loud enough for that basically probably the next game over knows you're swapping, and Florida State used that information well.
Yeah, again, as you mentioned, that soundbite alone is just so telling. I'm here! Like, is it, okay, nobody was here before, so I have an idea of where you're heading. And just a great setup there from Florida State. And a great finish there as well. The 1v2 came down, no problem. They were able to clutch that up and get the defusal as well. So the extra resources they're definitely going to love. Looks like they are going to continue to maintain those resources. And no big buys here in the second round. Nothing too surprising as they're looking to build those resources. Nice charge coming through there. Nothing happening there from the Bandito, but shots going to be fired as well as the smoke here in Haven.
That smoke going to come down. You can see the spike sitting there in the middle. Boise State hasn't quite fully committed to what side they want to go to. You can see one member of Boise State trying to find someone on A, but this really feels like a redo of game 1 as the smoke fades. And finally, though, Winston going to get Lycan here to start things off with first blood for Florida State.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, that tripwire is going to be burned. Cypher smoke is down, so that should allot them a couple of seconds. Shots underneath. Good thing he jumped up upon that box, or his kneecaps would be feeling a little Tanya Harding. Let's Go gonna find Monster there. So that's gonna even the field at 4 aside as the charge is coming out. And now we have a very brave maneuver. Left side shot's gonna drop right there as Shells hits the floor. Flame wall is up as Your Hat jumps on and only has the pistol looking for something. Phoenix gonna fall right next to him as Your Hat is gonna find that one. Unholy Banjo as well as Slapstick's gonna be accredited with that as Your Hat is going to fall. Another one there from the Bandito. He's gonna get it, but 2 from behind. That's not gonna help as Florida State picks that one up heavy-handedly.
Yeah, Boise State looks like, from what I saw, kind of going to go with the more eco route. Usually what you see after you lose round 1 and you know the other team has a lot more money. So now Boise State doing what they can on that one, getting up a couple of eliminations. But now you can think, as you see the guns come out for Boise State, they're going to be a little bit more even in terms of overall gun power this time.
For sure, but they have to do something with that. That's part of the, I call it the curse of victory. It's not that Boise State can just win the game. They have to win. They can't fight for the tie because Florida would technically pick up that point, if you will. So Boise State has to be on the aggressive side, hence the name Attacker. It's going to be up to them to do something to make sure that they can get in with the new resources they have. If not, they're just going to expend that lead even further in favor of FSU.
We kick things off here. Does look like Boise State this time has convinced themselves to go over to the other side. We'll see if they have a better result. If we see Legit going through bathroom, not going to get any spray there, so he's going to retreat his location given away by the recon bolt.
Yeah, and he's going to also give away the appearance of some of his buddies as well. Going to charge right through that smoke. Very aggressive move here from Boise State. Let's Go gonna find one here. Lycan going to find the other. Boise State is up 2 and continue to push through. The charge there not going to do much. Spike has been planted. Boise State with the headshot there. Lycan finds that one and continues to put the pressure on. Put out the drone. Look for any sneaky Pete's. Not gonna find him, but as you take a look into that area above the plant spot, there is one individual from Florida. Gonna look for a peek. Looking for a headshot. Not able to find it and is domed right there. Let's Go gonna find that one as well. Boise State looking for the perfect round. Monster all by their lonesome, looking for any kind of resource, is going to be spotted out, flashed, and hurting so as Boise State will be able to pick up this map, doing exactly what we were just talking about. A solid victory here in round number 3.
Yeah, Monster just trying to hold on to the op, so he's not going to do anything too risky there. Got to make sure when you spend the money like that, you don't just throw the gun away. So a great job by Boise State, getting a ton of extra gold. The bomb planted, and hey, nobody went down either, so that's even better for Boise State.
Yeah, absolutely, and this will allow them a little bit more wiggle room again. Once things flip over, it's more of a can I stop the bleeding as opposed to the other way around. If you have totally botched the first part as the attackers, it's really, really difficult to kind of sway that back. And so for Boise State to crawl within one absolutely worked. Heavy-handed victory as well as all of their members were still up in that third round.
Yeah, and this is where the mind games that of these style of games I really like. Okay, so you almost got an ace pushing A. Where do you defend if you're Florida State? Where do you attack if you're Boise State? And Monster going to just pop legit right off the spawn. Good night, but Boise State does answer back.
Yeah, and it looks like Bandit going to pick up that one. Your Hat is trying to find a way through this. Can go through the wall if he so chooses. With that spike as well. Doesn't really know. Nobody's there waiting for him, but it does look like that Cypher for FSU is peeking and making sure that there's no sneaky stuff going on. But like you said, great opening from both of these sides, making this a relatively 4-on-4 for the foreseeable future with about 68 seconds left here to go.
And if I'm Boise State, I probably am considering a full hard A swap here because you know Monster's holding down the hookah bar with an op. You know if you peek if you peek without a smoke screen, you're going to go down just like we saw Let It Go do. So for Boise State, surprised they're sticking out B here when they know there's an op waiting around the corner.
Well, and just putting so much pressure here on one of the easier entry points. You're also able to kind of close off the teleporter there from the right-hand side from A. We'll see what walk is through here for Boise State. Your Hat looking for something, not able to find a whole lot. Teleport is going to be up. That should give him the angle as Boise State starts to crash here on the container. Everybody coming through the bar, and now we got shots all over the place. Boise State is 4 strong, and it looks like FSU feels more than okay hanging out. A body dropped. I didn't even see it at that point, as Boise State is able to scope out this area. Shells here kind of covering all exits and entrances. Your Hat has the elevated opportunity. He doesn't even have to be in the area. He's going to pop off some shots, at least give some information to his allies, and now they are aware. They have this point if they so choose. The question becomes, when do they bail out? As we can tell, this flank here, Lycan should be able to see something here relatively soon, as it looks like FSU thinking they want to push on through, peeking through this doorway here, and instead they're going to run right into Shells. He's going to find one, flip over, the second coming through. Boise State says, get out of here, evens it up. Picks up the op too, feels pretty dang good, man.
Yeah, that's the risk of going for the op. You could see there Monster was, after he got that first pick, he was very hesitant. He never could find another angle, and then he's like, all right, I got to start bailing to keep this alive. Boise State doing a great job hunting him down. Spoils of victory there going over. So that's a huge gold swap over for Boise State that should give them a very excellent advantage here into this round as it kicks off here in just about 5 seconds.
Is it gold? Do we still call it gold in this game? Is it diddly do bucks? Like I don't even know what to call them anymore. What's the resource in this game? Just kidding. As we move on, Flash is going to come out immediately. The question is, did that come from your own teammate? Charge is going to be thrown as well as Breach is looking for a way in. That left side is dangerous, and it doesn't look like Lycan knows. Instead, Lycan's going to turn around and run right into one. The Sova going to be accredited there, but it looks like Shells is able to pick that up. The Bandito right there, able to get in a shot as well. So now 4 aside, Boise State FSU even so far with about 1:10 to go here in this 5th round. And right now we're just playing who wants what and why as we're changing weapons, we're dropping ops, and we're just trying to figure out what exact loadout we want to run with. Beautiful skins and all of those soccer blossoms. Beautiful shots coming out, so we have information one way or the other. Boise State kind of rinsing and repeating what happened last time. It looks like Soja is going to be jumping in here. He's going to find one. Shots are off, but is going to get turned shredded. Shells returns the favor, and now Unholy Banjo dropped there. Bandito looking for a no-scope, not able to find it. There in Hookah, shot is wide. Now stuck with only the pistol. Gonna be mowed down there as Lemoff is going to find it. It is now a 1v1 with 30 to go. Boise State looking for something here as Lemoff is looking for the header if he can find it. Spooky smoke gonna be coming through. And what a shot there from Your Hat. Badow finds it, plants it, gets on out of there. Great move there, picks up and off on its way out.
Yeah, safety op for Boise State after Bandito had gone down. And Lemoff with the great flank. Boise State had fully committed to getting on to B. Nobody watching from behind. Lemoff just walks into the bar, gets a couple of good shots. Unfortunately, you saw Bandito couldn't quite get the quick flick onto the head, and he was able to take him down. But a great job for Boise State and Your Hat to take that round and push themselves into the lead here and kind of hold this advantage over Florida State.
Yeah, and just a great move out of the hookah bar or whatever we're calling that these days, as Boise State just came in hot and aggressive. They need to continue to do that. The first part, maybe not so much when you get bopped by a Sova, not even seeing him, but the drone is going to come out, and lots of information going to be gathered here from the side of Florida State, and a big breach shark coming through, gonna take out the drone. People are confused, but it's a 1-for-1, as Sojo will find one, Winston gonna find the other, and now the wall is coming out, and he'll get some help back and try to decide where he wants to go, but it looks like Florida State, in the meantime, Lycan is going to take out Monster there, and that's going to be in favor of Boise State. Now becomes a vision game. Who is where? That giant red bolt tells you exactly the information we were just talking about. Sneaks on through, gets the headshot. Lycan is a sneaky boy at best. Gonna be dropped there, looking at the long side in between the 2 points, but is going to find plenty of restarts. What a great shot there from Winston, as Bandito is going to fall. 2-on-2 now. Spike is planted. Where is the decision to go? Shots through the smoke. What is going to be found? Your hat finds it without any information. A little bit of pepper on the team, as Boise State will pick up that one.
Yeah, I was shocked with Bandito holding down the angle that he did get out-sniped there. So great job by Florida State to try and come back into it. But Boise State going to be successful. And the Broncos, you really feel like have sort of found their mojo now that they are past, the pistol round. And you really have to like how Boise State's doing. But I have to say, for the Broncos, it definitely feels like this op is, I don't know if it's in the wrong hands. I don't know if it's just not something the Broncos want to use. But it definitely feels like that op that Boise State was using never really came in clutch like we saw on the side of Monster in Florida State.
Lemoff wants to pop some shots right in people's faces, the old poofing punches, I like to call it. We see here your hat is going to be the main one to go up, and Winston actually going to fall immediately there as Bandito able to click that head. Oh, wow, great setup there as Lemoff is able to find one with the shotgun. Shell's going to pick up slapstickers there. So right now, 3-on-4, make that a 2 as Florida State, even having to use multiple resources, and Soja just wants to check around the corner, make sure what's up. 3-on-2 here, and looking at not so healthy would be the rise there, as it looks like Florida State looking for a way in. Spike has been planted. Headshots aplenty. Banjo says bye-bye as he dings his way into another kill. Again, 2-on-2 now. Boise State with the lead. Spike has been planted. Now we're just looking for anyone to pop their heads out. That will give us information as we see the spooky smoke coming there from the right-hand side. Don't move. Don't get too brave. Soldier gonna find Monster. That's what happens when your names are relatively rhymey. But it looks like Unholy Banjo looking for a way in has been spotted. 2-on-1 for Boise State. The question is, how close are they going to remain for the spike? And when are they going to boogaloo? Are they going to stay around? It looks like it is going to be the case. Unholy looking to defuse, kind of playing a game of defusal chicken here as he's looking for a possible out. No, just kidding. He's going to jump over to B. Florida State gives that round up.
Yeah, Boise State doing a great job. You like the flank attempt by the Seminoles there onto one member of the Broncos. Unfortunately, like I said, the mind games are sort of being played right now. Florida State was full sort of prepared for the B rush. They got one guy, and Boise State said, all right, we're going to go to A, and the Broncos doing a really good job here of sort of taking the information, as you mentioned, that they get from when their players do go down and saying, all right, we know where Florida State is, where are they weak, and the Broncos have done a really great job capitalizing on it, winning 5 straight rounds.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And right now, if they can continue this momentum, not only into the defender stage, this will be great for them. I was talking about the burden of victory. Boise State has already cleared that. Your hat already picks one off. Here comes the breach charge. He's coming on through. Shells finds nobody in my personal favorite hiding spot and will continue to move forward. The spooky smoke is going to come out there from the Omen, and now Boise State has an opportunity. Just kidding. Slapstick's going to take out another one for them, as it looks like it's a 3v4. Your hat gonna find another one. Dude is on fire. Breach charge coming through. We got some red on green action here in the very near future, as it looks like they are going to be holding strong here in this tunnel. Spike is going to be planted. Charge is gonna come through. Now on both sides, for that matter, location has been revealed all about. It is a firefight of ages, and right now Boise State is up 1. The ultimate does come through. Only pings. Everyone's confused. They're blinded by the light, and they are lit up as Boise State finds their 6th.
Yeah, Bandito making me eat my words ever since I sort of said that I felt like the op had been inefficient for Boise State. He picks up a pair to end that round as well. They were all kind of waiting for Shells to be the one that they had the information on. So Boise State, they are really doing a great job here with that op that was sort of gifted to them by Monster. And that is sort of one of the big things in Valorant is how much advantage can you take from the weapons that your opponent buys for you and then has to give over when they die. And Boise State's doing a great job, basically with a 5K advantage just from that op that's been kept alive for 6 straight rounds now.
Listen, man, as a wannabe sniper myself, I don't care who has the op. They can clutch it up at least in one of these rounds. It works out. Also, the fact that it was a Salvation Army op, that, you know, they just walked in and like, wow, this is like 99 cents. Macklemore would be proud. The resource alone that they have gotten from that item is absolutely massive. Shots being blasted all over the place here on Site B, the preferred spot of Boise State here in most of their rounds. Again, on a 6-round streak. Who cares about the econ rounds? They have found opportunities left, right, and in between. They just need to be a select start to finish this first round here as they are up 2-6. Again, shots being fired all over the place as far as B is concerned. Meanwhile, A is kind of a where's Waldo situation.
Yeah, liking him and Winston, actually, as I say, Winston's going to get the pop, so Boise State now down 1, and if you think you're for Florida State, this is probably a full rotation onto B, so Boise State's probably got to push their advantage before the member gets there, and now looks like Boise State, they heard the teleporter go out, they're going to go full over to A. We'll see if the Broncos can get there in time.
There's a handful of sounds that the world doesn't like. Your morning alarm clock, getting into a car accident in the brakes beforehand, also the wah 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 of like 5 people heading your way. Winston, as well as Slapsticks, get him the double as an unholy banjo gonna find that one a flawless victory and a way back in for Florida State.
Yeah, and that is the downside to using the teleporter. As you mentioned, everybody knows where it's going, so there is no element of surprise. Boise State figuring with time of the essence, they can't afford to walk all the way around, but you would like to see Boise State maybe make that call a bit earlier, not be forced to use the teleporter, because, I mean, you saw as soon as it went out, everyone from Florida State, they ran right to A. They had the high ground, and Boise State kind of just paid for it.
That's curious. There's only one place they could possibly be coming from and going to. Oh, wait a minute, and that's the unfortunate side of those teleporters. Again, the mass teleport, if you will, seemed a little egregious. Take your time, maybe send 1 or 2 the long way. I'm not so sure about that play call, but like you said, just a decision that didn't quite work out. That's going to be burned down real quick. You're not going to be able to see anything, including the game. We're going to be taking a quick disconnect from one of the players or some situation. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm a shoutcaster. We'll be back in like 2 seconds, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's the only downside to esports is there are these like weird servers and internet things that you have to make sure you manage as well. You can't disconnect from a football game. You're either there or you're not. So we'll hopefully get that all figured out as, you know, Boise State was doing pretty well there. So maybe it was, oh, you know what, we lost that round because I lagged. Let me restart the internet real quick. Everyone's been there like, oh, you only got me because I'm lagging. If I die, it's lag.
Whatever. I mean, listen, the esports world, and Fish, we've talked about this ad nauseum. The esports world is finally experiencing its first ever, like, I don't want reviewable plays, weather forecasts are garbage. It's funny when, like, I think it was the LCS finals between TSM and FlyQuest, there was like a 45-minute delay because somebody's power went out and people lost it. I was like, man, if you're a Green Bay fan, you'd probably die simply by existing. But see, look at that. We're already back, and there's no snow nor cheese on my head. So we're jumping right back into it, Fisherino.
Yeah, we're getting right back into it. You see Boise State with the 7-3 lead, but coming off a round loss. We'll be curious to see. They should have a ton of gold, cash, money, whatever you want to say, saved up. So shouldn't be too much of a disadvantage for Boise State, as it looks like now Boise State coming in a little bit harder to this B push. You can see Winston and Shell just a few meters from potting each other out as your hat now. Got to be careful. He's going to go down first.
Fuck, dude, nothing feels worse than, oh man, if I stay here, I might die. Then, oh wait, I stayed here and I also got shot. Now I'm dead. Headshot coming from Soldier. Gonna be evening that out a little bit. Actually, Boise State taking the lead there. He found a second one. We didn't even get to see the first. Son, I am disappointed. But Boise State up 4-3 right now. 7-3 in the score, but we'll see what happens. They are aware. Looks like shot's gonna be coming out. Oh, we got 1 and 2. Couldn't find the third. Lycan going to be sleeping with the fishes, but Shells shows no signs of slowing down. Even picks up the spike, plants that thing right there, and now we have ourselves a good old-fashioned firefight. As it looks like we have information from Florida State as well as Boise State. They are looking at Hookah. They're not going to find anything. That information is being fed directly over to that breach right there. Oh, what a shot from Winston! What head? right-clicks it, and is able to go through, and now it is dire for the side of Boise State. They need to find anything. The peak is going to come through, and it is in! What a great defense there from Florida State. They are crawling their way back into this one, and looking like even going to put that one over. They are collecting a bunch of resources here, as well as the round. That one going over to FSU.
Yeah, I was surprised when Slapstick, as he said, sort of gave his spot away, that Boise State wasn't able to capitalize. He allows Winston to come in and get 2 kills. So yeah, I was sort of surprised to see last round there before the swap. We'll see if Boise State can pick up a win to go up 8-4. That Slapstick did sort of give himself away, and Boise State didn't capitalize on it. So a good job by the Seminoles, sort of baiting Boise State into maybe saying, oh, okay, we know where he is, we don't know who the second guy is, and then Winston came in and got 2.
Yeah, if Lycan doesn't get dropped as he falls out of that window, I think that's a completely different fight and a completely different setup in the overall.
Don't hold back.
Fish, it's our favorite round. It's the everybody buy Odin's round.
Yeah, everyone spend all of the money you can because you don't get to keep it when you go over. So be curious to see for Boise State what they splurged on, if they're able to find anything worth keeping. Huge flash going to come out. That's going to save a member from Bandito there. He had the op, and he's going to go right down. What a flash.
Winston checks in and puts a body on the floor. Shots coming out as well as smokes. Great crouch there from Lycan is going to even the score. Right now, enemy Cypher is hurting. We've got 2 dropped on either side. Winston finds 1. Your hat finds a double, but Slap Stickers is going to find Lycan in the process. It is a good old-fashioned double Dutch situation here as Florida and Boise State have 2 aside. Put the wall up, heal yourself up a little bit in the meantime. Shot goes out, verifies that at least somebody is there. Picking up the spike now and deciding which way you want to go, as your hat is going to put out some information gathering techniques here. Is looking into that hallway. He has a clue, and shots are coming in from Hookah. But what Slapstickers with the double gets it all by himself, and another round, another streak for the side of the Seminoles.
They swap over back to pistols, and that's probably good news for Boise State, because I have to say Winston, for probably about 2 or 3 straight rounds, did an excellent job of just holding down A all by himself with the sniper. Anytime Boise State peaked, they went down, and so Boise State kind of got forced into a B rush, and a great job by Slapstickers to know that and get the 2v1. But Winston, somebody Boise State's got to be aware of, because he won every single peak battle for the side of Florida State when they needed it most.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you were talking about the op situation, and it just feels good to know that you can put that amount of resource into somebody's hands and be paid dividends each and every time. So, yeah, it's flashy to get a couple kills, but the double consistency coming out of the side of FSU is going to be a very big problem for Boise State. Only 2 rounds up, and they've got a long climb, throwing plenty of rounds in a row, but you could argue they climbed themselves there in the same fashion. It looks like Soja is going to spark up, but instead is going to wait. Shots coming out. Are they checking, or have we actually seen somebody? Looks like we're going to get rid of a tripwire here, as again, the first part of the game is all about not getting shot in the dome. This Slapstickers is going to be able to do just that. 2, it looks like, again, I couldn't catch that, I apologize. It's Soja going to be looking here with the shotty, looking for some kind of way in. Spike is going to be planted. It's 4-on-5 now, with information coming all over. A great flash there is going to mean Slapstickers is able to find 1. The reload there, not able to come on through. Boise State is struggling here in this round, as the pistols do come on out. As Shell's going to find Slapstickers there, who already had a couple on them. Another one going to fall from FSU, 3-on-3. And you have a great idea of where he is. What a headshot from Bandito, as he is able to find 1 there. Bathrooms has 1 as well. A second one in his pocket. Now we have to defuse. We have 3 members. Where is the other one? Pings all around. Monster looking for the flank. Monster is going to be dropped in the process. Boise State going to find not only the defusal, but all of the Seminoles.
Yeah, it was a great flank by 2 members of Boise State, rotating over from B over to A, and that's really what changed it, because it felt like Florida State had the advantage. They had the spike planted, but they weren't able to account for those 2 members of Boise State, and once they rotate down Slapstickers, and then Florida State, you could see the panic set in. They started saying, wait, where's the other 2 members? I can't hold my angle as well, and that really is what turned it around for Boise State. So great map awareness by Lycan and the other member to rotate behind instead of rotating over towards their spawn, and that really what opened things up for the Broncos.
That's one of the glorious things about a first round, second round, is you really can just go all in. If you're 3-1, you're like, we need to find this guy like right now. You can just throw your body in it and at least know you're going to win the round. You're going to get the clear as well. Information coming out all over the place. Bandito going to be the one to clear all of that. His shots coming in. He's able to find 1. Shells was able to do the same. Unholy Banjo taking damage as well. Shells picks up another. A third there for Shells, as Slamoff is going to bite the dust. Shots coming in as Banjo's able to fall to his knees and be destroyed. Defenders, Boise State, pick up another.
That was a great job by Bandito scouting it out. I think he got information on 3 or 4 members heading into the bar, allowing Boise State to smoke it out, start firing their shots there. So, and you've talked about it time and time again, Chizo. A lot of the early 30 seconds or so are about information gathering, and usually who can ever get, hey, you know, there's X amount of members here. Whoever can win that usually wins the round, and I think Bandito went a long way. The kills might not have been there, but he kind of hard carried with the information he gave the Broncos.
Man, Soja is a man after my own heart, no questions asked. I love that shotgun, personally speaking, and people always make fun of me for running it. So to see it in a collegiate play right now makes me unbelievably happy. Soja is going to be found out, but he can just pepper the area with shells right here. Again, one of the teammates, but hey, not what I was going for here. So Boise State will be able to look. Your hat is able to hold the angle. They do see that they have been scouted out. Shadow's going to be coming through in the bathroom. That way they are able to seal that area off. Looks like an immediate push down here in the opposite area for the side of the Seminoles. They're looking to push the quickest way over to this A site as damages are coming through. A shell is going to be dropped here. And it looks like we're going to blow through the wall if need be the case. Damage kind of coming out from all over. Boise State seems to be a little bit rattled. Can't really figure out where the damage is coming from and how Winston going to find the first one. Where was it? A nice plant there, but going to be taken out before information is gained for the side of FSU. Boombot is there. Question is it going to find anybody? The answer is no. Soja is able... Oh, I'm sorry. That isn't the shotgun I thought it was. He's able to just mow that guy down. He's putting bullets into the wall. You might as well spray and pray, and you may find yourself some damage. He is not able to do so, as now we get to the sneaky snake kind of part of the game. It looks like that has been a switch and change over to B, but Bandito says, bro, I've been here the whole time. Literally my job. Your second guy, he got me. Slat Stickers is going to find that kill there over by the hookah pit, but Winston is not done. We have seen headshot after headshot. Spike has been planted. Monster right now looking for something. Just pulling all of the attention on that B side as best as possible. Lycan gonna be dropped there. Your hat is all by his lonesome. Is able to find one. Unfortunately, if I'm not mistaken, is not gonna be able to get to the actual charge itself, as he has no information. Those shots were real close. His kneecaps are sweating right here, as he is going to look here. There could be a possible peak situation. Right now, it is 2v1 Florida State versus Boise State. May just... Oh! And it looks like Monster is able to hit the seat.
Yeah, not much he could do there. I did see that it looked like shells for Boise State hadn't opted in to buy anything, so the Broncos sort of opting for a half eco there. So now that they've lost a round, I'll be expecting him to spend his near $5,000 to $6,000 in cash. But Boise State doing a great job winning those first couple of rounds with Florida State with a nice sneak. And there's only so much you could do in a 1v2 when you don't have any information. And he comes right around the corner and gets popped. I will say, though, Chizu, it feels like Florida State has had a better time in the 1v1s, especially when it is sort of a peak versus peak. So Boise State's definitely got to be careful that they don't get in too many of those, because Winston especially has been winning almost any gunfight he's a part of.
With pure accuracy alone, I'd actually follow up with that bet. I firmly believe that as far as shots landed versus sent out, Florida State's been looking great right now. We have a fight here in the internal. Boombot's going to come out. Shots are going to be fired, and is going to find it. Is Slap Stickers there, dropping shells in the process. With a little bit of info from the Roomba Boomba bot itself, as they are trying to make sure no one comes through hookah. Again, this is where Bandito likes to hang out. He's got the dragon skin. You might as well flaunt it. Takes a shot there and even reloads as well. So cool. As it looks like right now, we are moving over here to the A side of things, as Florida State doing a little juke maneuver here, as they started on that B side, kind of creeping their way through that middle point, looking to find A. Shots are going to come through, but not going to find anything is Soja here. They are looking away as the information going to be coming from behind. Dude, you need to turn around right now, because he is going to find one. Actually, your hat is going to get Monster there. Spike is going to fall. Shots coming in from Budget Hanzo, as Sova is going to land both shots. We got a Hanzo at home, and it's better quality anyways. This Bandito here in the Haven is looking for some kind of opportunity at bathrooms. Spike has been planted. Boise State is on the edge right now. 2v3, and all they have is range. A flash is going to come through. Shots are going to come down, as Bandito going to be hit right there. Instead, Lycan going to get rid of that as well as his life. And it looks like it is just Bandito all by their lonesome. 3 members of Florida State. You pack this one up, you'll walk away. You're not going to get much. Maybe some kind of pick if you're lucky.
Yeah, Boise State looks like they're going to have to give this round up. Doesn't look like anyone on the Seminoles going to make the mistake of walking into Bandito, as the spike will go off. And Florida State here making it a nice little comeback, making it 9-7, but Boise State still holding that ever so slight lead, but it is shrinking.
Well, like I said, the burden of victory. If you're able to get those few points, which is exactly what the difference was when we switched sides, Boise State has done a good job of playing for that burden of victory. They've already done what they can. All they need to do now is hold on. Statistically speaking, they're going to be okay. As long as they keep trading 1 for 1, they are going to be able to pick up the victory here in this first round. But the unfortunate side of that is they have to do it, and right now it is very slippery. It's looking like they're getting a little rattled. Communications may not be exactly where they want them, and as far as shots, again, I'm going to just lean over to the side of FSU. Their accuracy has been absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, and that's really been what has been sort of the deciding factor. Boise State feels like they haven't been able to trade in gunfights. We see Soldier going to get his location given away by the spy cam dart, so now Boise State probably going to look like there it is, the full rotation over to A. I'll be curious to see what Florida State wants to answer with so much time left on the clock and go over towards B.
Yeah, you hear the boom bot, it's somewhere out there, but it looks like Socha is able to take care of that one. As it looks like, yeah, not only that, but the recon bolt going to be taken care of as well. We're going to teleport over to the other side, despite the fact they can see us. It is what it is. It's just a little bit of a weird misplay, but the ultimate being burned there. So much damage taken on both spectrums as Lycan looks to push up here as well. He's going to take out that piece of information from the side of FSU, as Boise State and FSU currently sitting at 2 aside. Information's coming out. Great flash here is going to allow for shots. One is down. Unholy Banjo finds one. He finds the second, as Lycan is going to fall there. Winston holding the ground in bathroom. It is now a
Winston going to take a ton of damage. Good job by Boise State. No spike plant yet for Florida State. You can see the Seminoles now going to rotate over towards B. They've got to hurry as they're going through the bar. It is a 3-on-2 for the Broncos, so Boise State, even with the information, has got to be careful.
Well, and Bandit is there able to gain some information as well, looking for any kind of shot, as it looks like your hat gonna find Winston there, and the rest of Boise State now 2v2. They have equalized. The question is, can they close? Are they at 24-7? Just kidding! Finds the headshot. They are able to pick that round up. 10-7. Boise State continues their rampage.
That was a great job by Bandito. Didn't get the shots on the op, but he got the headshot on the pistol when it mattered. Boise State, as you said, if they can keep trading 1 for 1, I know that's probably not what they want. They'd love to just finish it out here with a nice winning streak, but if you can keep going 1 for 1 when you have this 2-3 round lead, Boise State can't complain about that, but I think you're still right. A lot of these shots that we've talked about going Florida State's way, Boise State almost has to get sort of cheeky sneak kills or through smoke like we just saw to sort of win these 1v1 gunfights.
Like sneaky, cheeky, kitschy kills, did you say?
Yes.
Revealing area.
Perfect, I'm glad we agree. Slapstickers here, gonna get some information on the backhand side. Is also gonna pop off a few shots, assuming, oh my goodness, they came from behind. Just kidding, they're all right there. Haven/Hookah is going to be the spot for them. Charge gonna come through here from Breach. They're just trying to get information. They know everybody plus their grandmother is currently in that area. They've even lit one up. Booty Bandito finds himself one, but so does Winston. Soldier gonna find another one there. Slapstickers goes down. How about a double on the duvet? Just kidding. We're gonna rewind that. Thought you got me. You thought wrong. He has that information, and he is all the way back on the other side. Great use of that rewind from the side of Boise State. Looking 3v2, looking to shrink that number down. 2 individuals from the Seminoles are here. One next to the container. Hi. Bye, says your hat. Defenders pick up the other. Booty Bandito finds yet another here in this round.
Yeah, and once again, it really felt like even though Lycan went down, he gave it all to Boise State. He's like, there's 4 members going bar. Everyone just go set up on B. You saw the wall bang by Bandito, and then the nice run it back by Soldier to be able to pick up 2 and then still have his life left. So great job by Boise State, sacrificing 1 member for basically all of the information they needed to pick up that victory.
That's like one of those situations when you're playing with your buddies, like, hey, I think there's 1 in bathroom, possibly 2, 1 or 2 in bathroom, 1 in Haven, 1 in Hookah. Ah, never mind, all 4 are right here. Where my body is, just go that way. And that's, ends up paying dividend for the side of Boise State. And I absolutely love it, as it looks like we are going to get some early aggression from all sides. The Boombot is going to come out, but still just like, dude, really? Instead, Shell's going to pick up Monster there. Not only did you lose your Robo Buddy, you lost your life, as your hat is going to be looking for an opportunity here as well. Great angles from the side of Boise State. Just giving a little bit of a peppering there from the side of FSU. Charges are going to come out. Your hat going to find another one. Lycan says, anything you can do, Legolas. And now all of the bodies hit the floor, drowning pool style. Boise State comes out with 3 of them standing upright.
Boise State moving on to match point, so now I'll be curious what Florida State wants to do. A has not been their site, and Boise State, though, they've done a great job using the information. We saw the boom bot went down, and immediately Monster had to pay for that as well. So I'll be curious to see how the Seminoles want to attack this now that they're on match point, because you can't be careless. You have to take this very, very calculated here, because you can't afford to throw the map away on a bad play if you're Florida State.
Oh, and absolutely, you take a look at the resources and everything is pretty even. But that one set alone was absolutely pivotal for the side of Boise State, not only pushing it to the match point, but able to pick up a lot of resource and starve the other. By the way, Bandito says, it's only been like 15 seconds. It's time I take a light. He's going to find one from the Seminoles and put them into a body bag. Shots being fired all over the place. Boombot going to come out looking for some kind of reconnaissance. Instead is going to head back. Oh my goodness, a flash is coming out as well as the Bandito is looking for the angle. Will he find it? He sees the body. He gets it! Dome check. He can cash that at your local bank as Florida State loses yet another. And right now, Boise State feeling so unbelievably good here. They haven't even aggressed, to be completely honest with you, and they've already lost 2 individuals. The breach charge is going to come in. Boise State just peppering the shots right there at Hookah. Gonna find one is Lycan looking for a second. He gets it, but he pays the price. Banjo going to be credited with that one, putting the Lycan to sleep permanently, as it looks like shots there into the back alley. Never mind, the wall, by the way, does not protect you. With a great presence of mind, Boise State closes that one out.
Great job by Boise State to be able to win that one. No, I don't think Florida State was victorious. The Broncos, there we go. Boise State picking up that one. The B is victorious on that, and what a good job by Boise State. As you talked about, a couple rounds where they were going 1 for 1, and then they really started to pull away. Bandito with a couple of great picks, and like I said, it is one of those weird things where even in a game where there are no respawns, trading your life for that much information like we saw once or twice for Boise State is almost as good as getting a 5-man ace, because you set up the rest of your team for victory, and Boise State capitalized on that phenomenally.
Oh, absolutely. I'll walk into 4 people 15 seconds in any day, as compared to, like, I don't know, making me clutch against one other person, because that's never going to happen. I'm terrible at this game. But I can talk about it, and so it kind of washes itself. But I really liked what I saw. Again, I talked about that burden of victory. Boise State came on in. They smacked everyone down as best they could. I would have liked a larger margin for the comfort, but all they needed were those 2 rounds, like 5-7 going into the switch, and that's all they needed.
Yeah, Boise State did a great job. As you said, it was 7-5 going to the switch. They even dropped the first 2 rounds attacking. They were able to come back. They managed their cash extremely well, which is something very important in these games. As we head into the second map here on Haven between Florida State and Boise State, trying to put a nice little bow tie finish on the Gridiron Rivalry Series so Boise State can end it at a 2-all tie in terms of overall games won by both schools. But yeah, as you said, Boise State a little close at the switch, pulled away at the end, and I said managing their cash well, saying, hey, we lost the first round, let's not blow the limited money we have on some okay guns. Let's lose the second round, come back strong in the next one as we get to the next map, which it is sort of interesting in this game. We got some 2-site maps, some 3-site maps, which makes your defense spread incredibly thick.
Okay, so this is the one where I go peanut butter and banana sandwich crazy. Again, I'm terrible at this game, but I love doing what Winston has right here. I love running Jet on this map. You have 3 different opportunities to get behind enemy lines, 3 different angles that you can take as far as how this goes. And I want to see that come out. I know that FSU has an aggressive side to them. We have seen it. I just want to see it pay dividends this time around. And Monster flexing the newest of characters. We'll see how they do with them in their hands.
Yeah, Boise State has one as well, so that seems to be the only consistent character swap. And as you mentioned, the Jet coming out, so maybe Florida State trying to win your heart over it. It looks like Boise State setting up for what could be a C push, which is easy until the enemy team gets an up, and then that is probably the most terrifying hallway in the game as the flame wall comes out.
Left side. Watch the left side. Oh, didn't need to. Throws in a great flash there. Shot 1 is going to come through. Lycan should be able to close this down. Just kidding. Has to reload. But the rest of Boise State is there. The Shells is able to find Monster there. It is a 3-on-4, and it looks like Boise State is in the favorable side. They're going to pick up another one 4-on-2 here, as all you can do is lie, wait, and cry. Boise State going to pick up that first one pretty strongly as well.
Yeah, only losing 1 member for Boise State. A lot better start than last time. And I do like them sort of pushing that C side with the flame wall there, because once the enemy team gets a sniper rifle online, that C is as good as God. I made that mistake more than I can count. I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to pop him this time. I'm like, oh, nope, there's 3 of them there. One of them has the op. And hey, guys, it's a 4v5. Good luck.
Well, listen, Fish. I mean, how many times have you picked up an op and also got, like, 1 or 2 kills right off the bat? Don't cut yourself out, bud. You gotta stop talking yourself down. You're talking about my friend there. As Boise State is doing a pretty solid job. But like you mentioned, C just becomes problematic. Never mind, as Soldier is gonna pop off some shots here and is not gonna find much. Doesn't even find damage there, if I'm not mistaken.
Does look like for Boise State, though, a little bit more split this time. So Soldier gonna get stunned. They're gonna have to be careful. So there is some information that at least Florida State knows there's one man on C as the smoke screen goes down. Lycan right now pushing towards B, but Boise State looks like they've given up on C. They're gonna go back over, maybe pick up B or A here.
And B is just, the more dangerous kind of aggressive situation. You're able to come up from a different couple of ways, but you're also open in that amount as well, if you will, especially coming through this window. It's really easy to get an angle on. Got to watch that garage there on the bottom left-hand side because the angles you can get from there are super dangerous, but it looks like they are going to fully commit over to this A, going to find themselves up in the sniper spot, actually. The Boise State University should be able to have something here. Spike is going to be planted. The flash is going to come out. We are at least going to get some information there, as it looks like we're throwing things out. Boom, headshot right there for you. Your hat is able to find that one and start the current aggression here for the side of Boise State.
Yeah, you can see Florida State all coming in from their spot, so they've got to be very careful. Boise State right now doing a great job holding the angle, but your hat, he's in a 2-on-1.
Woo! Sorry, didn't mean to scream in your ear. That shot was dope. He's going to be dropped by the second one as Stolja finds himself 2 here. It is 4v1. Florida State looking pretty bleak as things are going, but it looks like things are going to be just fine for Boise State.
Picked up one at the end there as well. He's not going to let anyone off Florida State survive that. Oh my goodness! I thought he was going to die. Inches away from dying.
Not even close, baby! As our favorite baritone would ever say.
I like how Boise State started this with a much better start than last time. They're up 2-0, and for Florida State, as you can see there on Winston stuck on the lowly pistol, the Broncos going to have a huge cash advantage that if they can start to push, this could even go to 3, 4, maybe even 5 straight for Boise State before Florida State starts to equal things with the loser bonus.
Remember how I was talking about the burden of victory?
Yes.
Boise State looking pretty good right now. The easiest way to kind of figure it out, again, they're up 2. They haven't even really been contested. There have been 4-man wins as far as things are concerned. As Lemoff right now is just going to stand there with his little pistol and hope that at least Boise State is able to peek their heads out. Your hat with a shot right there. It's going to connect. He's going to get it. He's going to get some more information here. Ooh, almost get bobbed there. Looks like that's an Odin, actually. Just put out as much damage as you can. See what happens. Nothing, because you got shot in your head. It looks like Slapstickers is going to pick up another one there. It is 3 aside as Slapstickers is going absolutely ape here. As we continue through, the weapon going to be picked up. It looks like Slapstickers looking for Omen. Unholy Banjo going to be dropped there from Lycan. He's howling to the moon for victory, and he is able to pick up that one here. As the Odin is coming through on that side. Can't see through the Cypher wall, however, and damage is going to be done. Spike has been planted. Boise State finds another one. Lycan is out for blood. The Omen here on the right-hand side. I mean, obviously he can't see it. This will be an interesting exchange as things are considered. You can try to pepper it on in. You can get shot in the head as well. Shells is going to end that round for the side of Boise State.
Recall bot coming back.
Yeah, I was surprised that Slapstickers, instead of trying to just hold on to the Odin and just give Boise State that round, he tried his best, but he was unable to get it. So Boise State, once again, just really sort of pushing the advantage, stopping any cash save from Florida State. And I think Boise State really putting themselves in a good position here to extend this lead. Maybe a couple more rounds before Florida State can finally find themselves on equal footing.
Yeah, and that's going to be the problem. If they can't, then it's going to be a really rough flip of the page. If they aren't able to at least close this gap by a little bit, and this continues to be it, unless, I don't know, this is one of those maps, though, you can really run aggressively back. So I'm not going to count them out yet, but, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can just see here Winston sitting on the shotgun, full of automatics for everyone on Boise State. I mean, yeah, you're right. You can't be a bit more aggressive. You can definitely hide around quarters, but the shotguns in this game, they don't just hit like normal shotguns do. So for Winston there, he's definitely going to have to stay close range, and if he's not, he's probably in for a world of hurt.
Well, and sometimes they hit like a damn truck. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had that instance. Again, we were talking about shotguns earlier today. I love running the auto shotgun and just blazing past people. That's not what we've been seeing, especially from this Jet. Obviously, on the defensive side, we'll see what happens as they get aggressive. But the shotgun is here, and boom, in your face. See, I told you. Look, that's what happens. Someone walks right in front of you, you bop them in the dome, and then you just kind of get out of there. That's why I love Jet with shotguns. It's so fun. Flare is going to come out, however. That's not nearly as fun. It looks like Boise State is looking for anything here, as it is for a side. Shells is going to throw out some information gathering. Not going to find anything. Anything up on that top side? Doesn't look like it either. Little does he know. As it looks like they are going to take a look here on the top side, make sure the sniper's nest is actually taken care of, as well is going to be the situation. They know that nothing is there. They can plant the spike, and they should be able to close these exits. Meanwhile, Soldier says, "Double, give it to me." As your hat gonna find another one there on your unholy banjo. It's going to be 4-on-1 right here. The flare comes on out. We are firing into nothing, and nothing is what you become. As you get mowed down by Boise State, it looks like the Bandito was accredited with that.
Yeah, you can see as the Stabobos go flying, Boise State building themselves a nice 4-0 lead there. And I mean, like you said, yeah, you could get a nice couple shotguns, but we didn't see it. But I think Soldier had a nice range advantage, and Winston could but just sort of sit there and sort of be sad that he didn't have a long-range weapon when he went down.
It's just one of those things, man. I mean, when you're this far behind, the best you can do is hope. And you're starting to see some of the buys coming out from the side of Florida State, but that's the term I'm going to use, is some. Holy goodness, that's a pucker right there, as the bullet comes whizzing right past your hat. Don't believe there was really any information there, but that one will scare you. Again, now Soldier here looking for a peek. He is going to see the knee and says, "I need you to get out of this lane." He's actually going to peel back as the rest of his team is going to continue to push forward here. Lycan, as always, going to be the sacrificial goat here, gets dome checked by Winston, as well as the flare coming out, as Shells is going to get the funk on, as they say, and get on out of there. But it looks like Bodie was able to find Winston. It is a 4-on-4 here, and it looks like we are going in. Ultimate is burned here. Information being gathered. Not able to realize there are two individuals on your right-hand side. One, the absolute least, right there in B, but it looks like your head is feeling pretty comfortable here. Gonna do the same thing, jump up into that top side, and boom! This time there's somebody waiting, but he is able to give out that information. Lemoff is going to be Dunzo. Banjo finds Soldier there, and that is a 2-on-2. This one, the closest of all 5 of the matches we have had so far. Bandito gonna flip out the knife and get out there, as it looks like he is going to be able to cover his ally here. Killjoy is going to try to get out of here, but it looks like Boise State is not satisfied. Oh, the spray and pray! You are denied, and now it is all up to Shells to make sure they know what they're doing here. As pings are coming out, and the smokes are there as well. Looking to protect, looking to shoot, looking to unfortunately lose their first round. Florida State picks up game number 1 in their favor.
Yeah, great job by Florida State to pick that one up, and that sort of felt like what we had seen in map 1 a little bit, Chizu, where Boise State might have the advantage, but the 1v1 gunfights, the 2v2 gunfights just felt like the accuracy just slightly more on the Seminoles side there. You saw 2 members on Boise State. They actually got the first shot, couldn't finish them off, so Florida State, once again, the shots just seem like they land a little bit more often for the Seminoles, and Boise State's probably got to watch out for. The other thing I'm shocked on is that Boise State hasn't opted to put the op on someone. We saw Monster had it last game on the Jet, and have someone try and hold that C corridor. Right now, Boise State going more for the mid-range rifles.
Well, and Shell went off, dude, just popping dudes left and right. It also doesn't help when you teleport into your opponent's line of sight and they just open up on you. It worked the first time, not so much the second time. We have an exchange of aggression here, as it looks like A is going to be the contested point this time around.
Yeah, Boise State looks like heading over towards A, as you mentioned. Yeah, got to make sure you don't teleport right into someone's line of sight. Make sure you check that one first, or at least smoke it out so you have some coverage. Right now for Boise State, they would have the numbers advantage, as the Seminoles have one man in the middle between B and C, and Boise State looks like now they know somebody's in the sniper nest as they get the first kill.
Your hat is going to be the first one to draw blood here on Monster. The invisible shot being pulled all over the place. Shells is able to find that, but we got ultimates coming down. Able to spike that in the middle of the fray. Cover me, I'm going in, he says. Boise State finding yet another Bandito will show zero remorse. That enemy Killjoy is going to be found, but Shells is going to fall. Slap stickers with the double there. Now Soldier is looking for an area around here that has some information, possibly that maybe something from behind might be going on. Slap Stickers here is looking to make something work from the accelerated and elevated area. Is able to find a headshot there. Banjo knows there is one more there. Boise State is down to their final, but the spike is coming through. In comes the flash. He's got one. He's got two. He is clutch as plate, baby. Let's go.
I was really shocked that Florida State opted for the spike defuse when they knew that Soldier was still alive. Another one of those sounds that will give you away, and he kind of kept the one man, caught the one man on Florida State napping, and Holy Banjo not able to respond. So risky play there by the Seminoles, and Soldier doing a great job making him pay for it.
My goodness, I seem to have caught the vapors. That one was hot, friends. That was absolutely disgusting. Throws in the flashbang, is able to get both of them all by his lonesome, and that was not a favorable situation. Soul just shows up, and now we are continuing on here. Boise State looking for a way in. They know resources have been expended just to find their position. Might as well rewind it, find out where he is. He's right there, never mind. Just kidding. I am back. The rest of Boise State moving on in. It is a 1-for-1, and the rest of the carnage continues right now. A 2-for-2 here. Flash is going to come out. Banjo looking for an angle. Will he find it? Winston is going to find Lycan. In the meantime, Bop is going to fall. Banjo had the angle and the first strike, but Soul just says, bow down. Picks up that one there. It is a 2-on-2. Spike still in the hands of Shells here. Looking for something. Has not quite found it. He is going to be tagged here. Spike is initiating. Boise State has an opportunity here. Going to throw out some aggression here is the side of Boise State. Killjoy able to put that area on lockdown, for lack of a better term. They have stacked up effectively. All they have to do is wait this one out. Now the burden is on Monster, busting out the knife, looking for something. Does not realize, look 90 degrees to your right, friend. Doesn't need to. Looking for the long play. They are going through C and they're going hard. Will they find Boise State unaware? Just kidding. That is the opposite. Now you're flash, now you're dash, now you're done. Boise State round 6.
Yeah, great job by Boise State, and Soldier just holding the angles, forcing Florida State to come to them, and that's never the situation you want to be in as the defender. Is spikes planted, you have no idea where the two members are, you come around the corner, you can't see any of them, and you know you probably have to get a defuse off in the next 10 seconds, and you kind of just got to pray that that he's holding down the wrong angle. Soldier, though, he's not going to fall for it. He got a quick elimination, and then the last member for Florida State, not much he could do.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, Boise State was already locked in. They already had an idea of what they were looking for. That was very, very, very well executed. It would have taken, not a miracle, but just a great outplay for Florida State to have really survived that whole situation, just the way that Boise State was set up as the spike went down and as things unfolded. And again, like I said, 90 degrees to the right, you'd have been fine, but you're going to find one. The blood price is paid there as a bandit, or bandito, my apologies, is going to find the other one for the side of Boise State University, as it is a 3v4, and they're looking long side as far as C is concerned. Everybody rotating through, the Golden Axe coming through. Unholy Banjo looks to be the only one really in the wings. Sova going to try to get some information. They are not coming up through that area, so you might as well fire off in a direction you think they might be. Also, you could have just taken a look and known they probably weren't in that area. As far as Boise State is concerned, they are looking for their way in. Lycan going to check this window. Nobody there as far as he knows. On the ramp, sure, but the spider bot coming through as well. Lycan going to kind of peek around, make sure there's nothing here, but we do want to see what the other side is. Boise State, Bandito going to drop this one. The wall is up. That will allow them to plant. This is the same kind of situation we saw earlier, but now they're going a different way with it. They're just going to protect long C because they have an idea of where the rest of FSU is. The answer, not anywhere near where they need to be. And now Boise State can just stare down Fish's favorite long C and hope that they can pick somebody off if they try to defuse.
Yeah, no ops, so it does take away from it a little bit. You see Slapstickers. He's looking at all the typical corners. Little does he know, Boise State's got three members right where he peeks out, but there's no one on the points. This could be a quick defuse.
Oh man, and right there, the Phoenix gonna go down. Slapstickers is able to find one, fires off into the darkness as if there was some hope. Bandito and Shell's gonna pick those two up. The spike is being defused and they're able to get it! He is so unbelievably clutch! Monster says, fine, kill my team, but do not kill my spirit!
Yeah, I was sort of curious. I understand what Boise State's plan was. You smoke out C, you put the spike in an area where you think you can spray it, but Monster found the spot where the sprays weren't going. So I was a little concerned and a little confused why Boise State opted for an off-point defense. And as you mentioned, Monster clutches it and sort of makes them pay for, I don't want to say lazy defense, but definitely an interesting defense.
Well, it wasn't that Boise State needed to push there. They didn't need to run away. It was one of those things where you're still far ahead. You've got the secondary round coming up here, not too far. Just go for it. You know, push through. What's the absolute worst that's going to happen? You're going to lose a couple of rounds. You're up 4 at this point. Again, that's just me maybe being a little bit boneheaded and a little gung-ho, if you will. But here we are pushing up here on the A side. No one really there. Information being gathered from all sources if possible. They're not going to find a whole lot of anything. You see Omen throwing something out there towards the mid. But you do have Monster here on that high A point. This is a place that Boise State has liked to teleport into, but Soldier going to be throwing out some flares. He is not going to see anything, but A is going to be the place. Turret is going to be dropped. The Phoenix, Ultimate is actually going to bring him on back. He ran out of time, but it looks like Bandito Booty is going to be dropping the spike here. Instead, is going to be seeing a gray screen as Monster is able to pick up the Bandito. Like it, while confused and unamused, is able to find one there as Lemov finds the other on shelf. It is in favor of FSU, just getting evened on out, as it looks like we are jumping on in. Your hat gonna fall. Slap Stickers picks up yet another, and now it's a Phoenix versus the world. He does get the headshot, but the defenders find that one. FSU picking up 1.
Yeah, unfortunately for Phoenix there, he got no kills with the ultimate. Really didn't get even much information at all. So that one was sort of wasted, and a great job denying the spike by Florida State, and them all being able to sort of bum rush Boise State with some flashes and some smoke. So a good job by the Seminoles now, putting their second straight round together and starting to close that gap on Boise State before we get over to the change.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, again, that was kind of what I was hoping for in that last round. Maybe not in that round where they just go all out for A. But they had such a beautiful setup in that previous round on C. All they had to do was be aggressive on the secondary side, and I think it would have worked out. But instead, it looks like it's putting pressure here on long C. Body 1 is Bandito is going to find Slap Stickers, and that is going to definitely take a piece of this FSU lineup out that they do not want to get rid of. Wall is up as well as the Mirage coming in. Everyone is blinded by the light, whether or not they like to or not. As Let's Go is going to find the Soldier with Flash. He's able to get the headshot there. Nobody really behind him, but he's not going to risk that in the paper form. Just kidding. 90 degrees to your right, gets off right in the dome. Feels absolutely terrible here as we got 60 seconds left. Opportunities aplenty. 3 of 3 is the situation. Lycan finds one, but is returned immediately as Unholy Banjo finds his dub here in this round, as it looks like Bandito is the final remaining member for Boise State University. Looking for any way in, looking for a plan, looking for information, is going to find it, is going to have an idea of where the side of FSU is. They need to be very, very careful there. Gonna flick the possible spike, gonna give themselves away, looking for one, gonna find it, looking for the second. The ultimate is out, and damage is in, and he finds it! Bandito with the clutch and the spike!
What a play by Bandito. Used the fake shots to kind of lure Florida State in the corner that he wanted them. And the Seminoles maybe getting a little bit too greedy. You had a 2-on-1, and the fact that both members went in the exact same direction instead of sort of trying to pincer Bandito kind of blew my mind. So Florida State that time with a little bit of a questionable defense at the end to kind of give a round back to Boise State.
Yeah, and just absolutely beautiful setup there. I love it. You got to flank on either side. That's why you do that. And that, like, you saw the shots. Why wouldn't you respond to them? Sure to hide, but let your buddy follow through, and you just stand there, stuck on your thumb for a couple seconds, and hope you don't get bopped in the head. But anyways, exchange of aggression here on both sides. Boise State with a sizable lead moving into this 3-7. The flash is going to come out. Lemov here looking for an opportunity. Just has Bucky here against the long range of Soldier. So he's...
Boise State looks like they got to be very careful. At least 2 members of Florida State's running shotguns, and they are just sort of chilling in these areas where Boise State, if they don't get the right peak, they're just going to go right down. So Boise State's got to be careful taking these close angle fights.
Yeah, absolutely, and this angle right here is super awesome from the side of your hat. I don't know why he gave it up, because he's probably going to get popped here in just a couple seconds. Ultimate coming out here from Soldier. He's actually looking for anything and then some. I can't quite tell what the situation will be. Bop! Done! Is your hat able to find a headshot there? Gives the old kiss of the fist and the gun, for that matter. Soldier's setup is going to be moved. They have information on this Silva. They know he is there. They're just firing all the shots they can into that wall in hopes that something pegs him, and they are able to find out where he is from there. But they know exactly where he is at. Winston right now, no resources, no hope. Slap Stickers also in the same situation. Bandito gonna find the follow-up. Attackers pick that one up just shy of flawless.
Yeah, great job by Boise State. Definitely making a good use of the cash disparity. And here we go. This is where everything gets slow. This is where you should just see 5 ops, honestly, Chisu. That's where you have the real fun.
No.
Everybody pick ops just to use the better head clicker.
Nah, man, all Odin, you just don't let go of the left click and see what happens, and then you just slap each other after that. But no, this is a beautiful situation for the side of Florida State. They are now allowed to buy anything they can. You see the Odin coming out, like maybe that's going to do something. They're allowed free agency here. They don't have to worry about the rest of the game. Just win this round and move on. Fire that shot. Fire the shot! I believe, nope, okay, never mind. You waited like 3 seconds. That's your fault, not mine. So Lemoff here going to be holding down long C. But Boise State has an idea of what's going on. They will match op fire here now that they know. And so now it's a techno song as both op players just continue to fire off. Charge is going to come through here from Breach. And a pretty solid one actually at that, as Boise State was kind of pinched there into that C corridor. They've already committed. They're already looking for more. The eye is out, not going to find anything. The spike is down. Guess where FSU is? Not here. Boise State has the absolute ground control. 3-0. Winston gonna find that one as another body from Florida State gonna fall. Monster picks up that one there. Lycan was accredited with another 3-on-2 is the situation here as the clock ticks down here before the switch is confirmed. Fires going left, right, and in between. Monster going to be sleeping with the fishes as Bendito is going to find that one. Winston the final to fall, and Boise State just has to look the wrong way, and they will find this match and point. Point and match, damn it.
Yeah, we get to the swap here, so Florida State, I guess, can know at least not only did last round they get to spend all their cash, this round they know they're going to be on somewhat equal footing, but really a great job by Boise State to have the 6-round lead. So I'll be curious to see what Florida State wants to do to try and start getting back into this one. They probably have got to win this round because if you can't win on pistols, the second round's going to be even harder for the offense.
Well, and I'm not trying to BM here, but, you know, me, I'm going to BM here. They took the first 2 rounds in game number 1 and then proceeded to lose, I think, 6 in a row. I think it needs to boil down to just raw communication better. They have great players, man. They just do not seem to be aware of where opponents are. They're standing in areas that Boise State already has sight. I want to give credit to Boise State, don't get me wrong, but there's also a certain level of, excuse me, like walking into that one, Winston is going to go down. Monster is also going to follow through and finding Lycan after that exchange. And so, yeah, if they win this first one, it'll help, but I don't think it's going to make the match. Flash is going to come out. Soldier is going to throw one as well, but he is going to be dropped there by Slapsticker. Your Hat trying to make the rotation over, as it looks like right now FSU is just on fire. And Fuego. Spike is planted as well. This is a very bad situation for Boise State, so FSU will take it. They are going to love this. It will give them an opportunity. Wow, that turret. Yeah, fight the turret. Yeah, you got it. That's bonus points, right? You get at least a high five from your teammates when you do that. So right now, this round is more than certainly going over to FSU. Boise State will be more than okay, just kind of letting this happen, being smart. Shots coming through. Extra resource there from Your Hat. I don't think he's going to be able to clutch it up, but he might just be able to. He should know that somebody's there on his right, especially now as the shots are coming out. He's going to be dropped there, but was able to pick up one in the meantime. So you do what you can. Sometimes you fall on your face.
Yeah, the fact he was still able to get 1 kills when it was a 4v1, like you said, probably unlikely he's going to get the spike, but is going to have some extra cash, though the win probably does all but maybe assure that Florida State at least picks up this one. You can see for Boise State, not the most cash they wanted, so they're going to have to kind of go cheap here. So Florida State, and you know the Seminoles got to push their advantage. So I would think Florida State should have the advantage here. They just got, like you said, they got to be careful. Can't take these angles that they have no idea where anybody is, or Boise State might be able to sneak around here.
Fish, it's not cheap. Where was your retail assistance? It is cost effective. Not cheap? Come on now, that lessens the whole experience now, doesn't it? As it looks like a first shot coming in there from Lycan, gonna find Unholy Banjo. And the rest of his crew, well, right behind him and right in front of him, Shells is going to find one, but Winston and Monster going to find another. It is a crazy start to this match as bodies are all over. Bandito looking for something. Looking for resources, what he wants. He's going to take the weapons he didn't even pay for. That's mine. 5-finger discount and looking for this round as well. Fight has been planted. Slapsticker's looking for info. He's going to find it. He's actually going to find both of them. They are well aware of where both Boise State players are. Shot comes in. Slapstickers finds one. Second one comes on in from behind there from Monster. They're able to pick that one up. Florida State is clawing their way back into this one.
Yeah, good job by Florida State. As you know, I don't know if cheap's the right word, but Boise State definitely wanting to hold on to their resources. Now you could see a little bit more than pistols coming out for the Broncos. So now Florida State's got to be careful. They're not just going to have the machine power advantage, if you will. So I'll be curious to see how Boise State does now that things back on equal footing here, because the Broncos sort of dominated on offense, but it got to the point where they were pulling away in resources. We really haven't seen them on an even level fight since the pistol round that Florida State won pretty handily just a few moments ago.
So here's what I'm going to say, because they've lost 2 before in the opening gambit, and then it all went in Boise State's favor. If they leave this 3rd one to Florida State, then maybe I will start to believe. You know what I mean? I'll throw up my hands kind of spirit bomb style and just kind of see what happens. But right now, Boise State, again, playing with that burden of victory. Florida State has to pick up these rounds. Boise State can just sit there, open up a Capri Sun, you know, find a comic book and call it a day. They just need to be aware. Lycan gonna find 1, Lycan gonna find 2. As I said, they can sit, they can camp, they can breathe easy, as 2 are going to fall immediately. Hey, I can't see. Thanks, teammate. The flashbang gonna come through, and while it may have done some work for the side of Boise State, Lycan gonna fall there as Lemhoff is able to find that one. Soldier looking for something here. Isn't gonna find it. Your hat with 1. Your hat with 2, 3. Oh my goodness gracious! Great balls and fuego. Are you kidding me? Just holds down the left button, finds the first one. Holds it down again, finds 2. I didn't even see the 3rd guy.
Man, you talked about it, Chizu. It's Florida State getting a little sloppy, taking angles that, yeah, you don't think anyone's going to be there, but without the information, you can't always be so sure. As you saw, you know, the member of the Seminoles just kind of walk in, didn't even get a chance to pull the trigger, and then all of a sudden 2 more go down. So for Florida State, got to be careful, got to be predicting something like that. And for Boise State, a really good job of taking advantage and being in a spot where the Seminoles probably didn't expect anyone to be. Thought they'd just get a clean rotation over.
But remember, Fish, I said find me a 3rd, and I might believe. So you know where my loyalties lie here in this situation. Boise State and Lycan finding 2 right there. It has only been a handful of seconds. Throw out the flash and put them down, as Stolja's gonna find 1 after the fact as well. So continuing on, Boise State has lost 1. Lycan going to be, as I said, the sacrificial lamb. My new name is Your Hat finds Banjo. That's not too goodzooey, as he is gonna be dropped right there. Stickers now. It's just like, I've got a spike. Everybody leave me alone. Stay away from me. My dad's in the Hells Angels. Never mind. I'm dead now, as Bandito is going to find that one there.
Yeah, Boise State right back on it 2 rounds in a row, and I would have been curious to see what would have happened. It wasn't on screen, but Lycan pick up an early double kill once again. And for Florida State, you got to wonder how when you're attacking, you walk into somewhat just that quickly to go down. Haven't even seen a C rush at all from the Seminoles, so I'd be curious to see if they want to change it up, because right now Boise State holding A and B phenomenally in these last 2 rounds.
Nah, at this point, just bomb B. Just run. Everybody right to B, because your long game is not doing you any favors. You might as well cut the distance and try to basically to take a name from another thing, Zerg rush it. It looks like that actually might be what they're looking to do. Go up the left side as well. Burning out. Winston is going to be using his ult and is going to be burned in the process. As Shells is going to find that one. A headshot coming out there from Slapstick, returning the favor to Shells there. The drone is going to come out. Lemhoff looking for something. What are you doing? That's not where you snipe from. You snipe from the doorway place. Lycan is going to find 1 there. Banjo finds Your Hat. Shots coming all over the place. They're red. They're scary. They're opping. But the defenders find yet another, and it looked more aggressive than anything else. When was the last time you saw defenders in that B point high on your side? Absolutely filthy.
Yeah, it was a really good job by Boise State. You pitched for the all-B rush there, and Florida State, they kind of tried it, but yeah, I also was confused why Lemhoff was like basically trying to just muzzle stuff people with an op. Usually doesn't work very well. He's like,
I've never
put the
heard that
muzzle in them. You can't miss if the muzzle's in their face.
Right, you can no-scope if the barrel's in their chest. I like it. I like it. But Boise State looking real good here in this round. Oh my goodness, Soldier, who are you? Who are you? I really want to know, as the Who once said, who are you? He's coming in with the ultimate as well, looking for the scope. He's going to not get it, but the ultimate is going to tick him on back. He now has a little bit of information, pulls out the knife, gets on out of there. Will be able to heal himself up as well, but right now, Boise State 4v3 and feeling gravy in the situation as they, oh my goodness, Shells is able to find one. The favor is returned there by Unholy Banjo. They should know that they're going on that long A side, but it looks like Soja just wants to make sure they don't take the quicker way, I guess. I don't know. Oh, Bandit! Bandit! It's not even pistol round! What are you doing? What are you doing? Spike is going to be planted here by Unholy Banjo. It is a desperation attempt. Omen v. Omen. HP would love this situation, as Omen is the one that puts him in a body bag, diffusing it out. Boise State has found the round, and it's looking oh so good. Defenders pick up round 13. Game, set, match, orange and blue.
A great job by Boise State there we talked about it the first game, probably a little closer than we wanted the second game. Boise State really just sort of ran train on Florida State. There's a couple rounds where the Seminoles maybe got back into it when they flipped, but that was a really good job by Boise State to come back there and sort of put on a clinic on defense on how to play defense from the attacker's side, because that's where it really felt like they were all the time.
Not even kidding. The whole burden of victory is literally a Revolutionary War concept. When the British had to come over, they got to send ships. They got to do everything to get there. If they can't win, they just got to go back to Britain and, yeah, we're America. Woohoo! That's exactly what happened with Boise State, just in a little bit of a different situation. They were able to, like I said, burden of victory. They found it. They were up in those rounds. And in the rounds that they defended, they absolutely stuffed their opponent, like him looking like a wolf in sheep's clothing, and the rest of Boise State. Don't even get me started on Soldier U. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so a good job there to Boise State, and I think that should mean now we have to have the director's arm wrestle, right? Because it's 2 games aside in the Gridiron rivalry. So I think we have to have the Florida State eSport director and Doc meet somewhere for a nice old-fashioned arm wrestle to see who wins.
I was thinking Rock'em Sock'em Robots, though. Arm wrestling is purely a strength-based thing. There's very little strategy to it. When it comes to Rock'em Sock'em Robots, there's a left button and a right button.
That's true.
And a forward and backwards, left-right maneuver. You see what I mean? I'm not opposed to the arm wrestle thing. It's just a little barbaric for, the times that we live in, unless we're, just going to put them in a straight boxing match. Put them in some Street Fighter, maybe some Tekken, then I might agree.
I'm sure VR Chat probably has some sort of arm wrestling you could do if you want to make sure that, if they don't have it, they probably should. I'd also maybe suggest a Boise State. I don't know how you could do Boise State versus Florida State in Among Us. I know that's the hot game going around right now. And if you could do custom lobbies, I'd say Fall Guys, but that'd be sort of just spam queuing and trying to make sure you're in the same game. So I'd be down for a VR Chat just arm wrestle if they even have it. I think that would be a great idea.
I thought I lost you there for a quick second. Sorry, I'm still running on net zero. I get my internet from Walmart. But that being said, I don't care what the game is. Both of these crews, again, this is kind of a continuation of what we saw earlier this week. And I love what I saw. Both of these programs, absolutely phenomenal. Don't tell anybody, but I have a Seminoles t-shirt my grandmother gave me 20 years ago that still hangs in my closet. It was awesome to see these two crews go head-to-head, smack each other around for a little bit. And for it to be unbelievably even. Again, I still have reserves about the whole League of Legends thing. It appears they brushed that dirt off their shoulder and came out strong throughout the rest of the weekend. But again, I'm loving what I'm seeing from FSU, and I bleed orange and blue. So awesome for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, if you missed it on Friday, that's when we started this in Rocket League, Overwatch, League of Legends. Hey, just drop a sub, drop a Twitch Prime sub in the chat and go back and watch that video. Get Adam's thoughts on what went down in League of Legends, because you definitely want to go check it out. But these teams going to end up splitting. Florida State taking Rocket League and League of Legends. Boise State coming back with the 3-0 in Overwatch and the 2-0 in Valorant. And we go into our Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Your quick prediction, Chizu, go before it shows up on the screen.
It's like an Soja. Oh, it's your hat. Your hat. That was the thing, dude. All of the players were stellar today, and so I'm not surprised. I'm not upset. The only thing I'm upset about is there's no picture in the bottom left corner. You couldn't even humor me with a Buster Bronco or something. That's actually the only thing I'm upset about.
Yeah, so a big shout out to your hat. Like you said, though, probably any player deserved it. I mean, I would have given it to Bandito because that op skin is just filthy, let alone I mean, he made some filthy plays on it, but still, that was probably, if I were ever to spend money on Valorant, it would be for that op skin right there. But I don't think that's going to be the case because I still have League of Legends skins I have to acquire. So Riot can get my money that way. Then I'll buy the op skin once I own all the League skins.
Both ways. Absolutely, man. But yeah, no surprise, your hat is the player of the game.
Yeah, so big congratulations, the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. Your hat, Idaho Central Credit, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like they're helping their members achieve financial success. So a huge shout out to your hat and what I can believe I can call the first ever Valorant Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. I don't think we've had one. So he's the inaugural winner. So big, that's worth even more, honestly. That is worth so much more to be the first one.
I'm gonna bring him a big old dragon egg. You know what? That's what it's gonna be. I'm like, hey, I found this in my backyard. Rumor has it you deserve it. ICC sends their regards, kind of situation. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that call because you know what? If we ever have the Player of the Game trophy, your hat's name will be listed first for Valorant. So a big shout out to your hat. A big shout out to everyone on Boise State for coming up clutch here in Valorant. 2-0ing Florida State to tie the Gridiron Rivalry Series. Keep Boise State from having any losses in that series. Of course, I don't think you can call this a victory, but you can call it a nice old-fashioned tie as we get some replays from Boise State's just absolute awesome performance right there. That was incredible.
Right there. That's what it was. Now I take back everything I said. Sorry, soldiers. Sorry, Lycan. That was just, oh, God, it feels so good to just left click, and then it's two bodies. You're like, oh, I'm the best in the world for now. And then you die immediately in the next round.
I was going to say, a big shout out to everyone. Thank you, Chizu, for coming in clutch in Valorant. Like you said, chat basically summoning you. They've learned the magic ritual to get you here. Big shout out to D'Angelo as well for doing some Overwatch earlier in the day. Boise State victorious in that. And, of course, huge shout out to production, the unsung heroes of all this, making sure we look and sound good, making sure that they are able to deal with Adam trying to come in through the Stone Ages on his internet, basically the dial-up sound coming out. You said it yourself.
I keep going. Close it out. Close it out. I'm still loading.
I mean, basically, this is where dubstep started, is what happens when Chizu fires up his internet. Everyone knows that sound. But a big thank you to everyone. Make sure you stay tuned. I believe we've got more stuff coming up Wednesday of this week. So just drop a follow. You know when we go live. So big shout out to everyone. Thank you once again. And we leave you with our top 5 plays of Boise State's victory over Valorant.
Slapstickers there who already had a couple on them. Another one going to fall from FSU, 3-on-3. And you have a great idea of where is. What a headshot from Benito as he is able to find one there. Bathrooms has one as well. A second one in his pocket. Now we have to defuse. We have 3 members. Where is the other one? Pings all around. Monster looking for the flank. Monster is going to be dropped in the process. Wait. Throws in a great flash there. Shot 1 is going to come through. Lycan should be able to close this down. Just kidding, has to reload. But the rest of Boise State is there. The Shells is able to find Monster there. It is a 3-on-4, and it looks like Boise State is in the favorable side. They're going to pick up another one 4-on-2 here, as all you can do is lie, wait, and cry. Actually taken care of as well is going to be the situation. They know that nothing is there. They can plant the spike, and they should be able to close these exits. Meanwhile, Soldier says, Double, give it to me. As your hat gonna find another one there on your Unholy Banjo. It's going to be 4-on-1 right here. The flare comes on out. We are firing into nothing. On. Slapstickers here is looking to make something work from the accelerated and elevated area. Is able to find a headshot there. Banjo knows there is one more there. Boise State is down to their final, but the spike is coming through. In comes the flash. He's got 1. He's got 2. He is clutch as late, baby. Let's go. Information is going to find it, is going to have an idea of where the side of FSU is. They need to be very, very careful there. Gonna flick the possible spike, gonna give themselves away, looking for 1, gonna find it, looking for the second. The ultimate is out, and damage is hit, and he finds it! Benito with the clutch and the spike!